Chapter 1108. Great Tao Lightning Tribulation appears. Yang Hongwu nodded. This was indeed the truth. If the heavenly Tao really had a divine talisman, why would it wait until now to deal with him? After sending Zetian flying, the heavenly Tao didn't feel happy. Instead, it seemed very solemn as it looked in the direction where Zetian was sent flying. It seemed very nervous. Yang Hongwu also felt it. Although the divine talisman was powerful and had easily sent Zetian flying, how could Zetian be so easy to deal with? If Zetian was so easy to kill, he would have been killed by Yi Shiwen a long time ago. What a powerful force! Is this the power of the divine talisman? It's a pity that this isn't the power of the divine talisman itself. It's just a projection. A black light flashed and Zetian appeared again. At this time, Zetian seemed to be even stronger. His aura seemed to have weakened, but Yang Hongwu knew that Zetian was getting more and more familiar with his power. Zetian, you're too arrogant. Today I'll destroy you first. The heavenly Tao was completely enraged. Heaven and earth roared furiously as waves of killing intent appeared. These killing intents of the heavenly Tao were even more powerful and terrifying than the killing intent from before. Among these killing intents of the heavenly Tao, there were terrifying runes. These runes were exactly the same as the divine talisman projection from before. Obviously, these powers also came from the divine talisman. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes as well. This Zetian had really done him a huge favor. Now, he had enough time to grasp the power of the 9 heavens and 10 earth. He had to grasp the source energy of the 9 heavens and 10 earths and control the entire 9 heavens and 10 earth. Every time Zetian clashed with the heavenly Tao would be distracted a little. A portion of its power would be dispersed, and Yi Shiwen would be able to control a portion of the nomological power. If this continued, when Yi Shiwen truly mastered the nomological power of Jiutian Shidi and became the true ruler of Jiutian Shidi, the heavenly Tao wouldn't be a concern. Even Zetian and Yang Hongwu wouldn't have to worry about it. Of course, Yang Hongwu was also very clear that when Zetian was fighting against Tian Dao, his strength was also constantly increasing. He was not the only one who had benefited. In fact, Yang Hongwu knew that if he joined forces with Tian Dao to get rid of Zetian at this time, it would be the best opportunity to get rid of Zetian. After all, compared to Tian Dao, Zetian was a more terrifying enemy. In other words, he was Yang Hongwu's true opponent, a true enemy. As for Tian Dao, it was just a small threshold under the Great Tao, a small test. However, Yang Hongwu also understood that only one side could exist between him and the heavenly Tao. He had refined the origin power of Jiutian Shidi, which was equivalent to fighting for the entire Jiutian Shidi with the heavenly Tao. The importance of Jiutian Shidi to the heavenly Tao was imaginable. At this moment, Zetian and the heavenly Tao were locked in a fierce battle. Yang Hongwu's strength was constantly increasing. Suddenly, Yang Hongwu's face changed. In the sky, a terrifying light appeared. A terrifying pressure came through the entire Jiutian Shidi. This was the power of the Supreme Void. The Great Path Thunder Tribulation had arrived. Damn it! Why did the Great Path Thunder Tribulation appear at this time? Yang Hongwu's face was solemn. Although he knew that the Great Path Thunder Tribulation would appear after he left the Immortal Shrine, he didn't expect it to come at this time. His strength was still at a critical juncture. Yang Hongwu was confident that if he waited for another 2 hours, his strength would be able to improve further. But now it was impossible. At this moment, the heavenly Tao and Zetian also felt the terrifying pressure. The two of them stopped fighting. Great Path Thunder Tribulation? How is this possible? The heavenly Tao's face was extremely gloomy. For him, this wasn't a good thing. Although the Great Path Thunder Tribulation was targeted at Yang Hongwu and not him, the appearance of the Great Path Thunder Tribulation meant that the Great Path recognized Yang Hongwu as the master of Jiutian Shidi. If he really survived the Great Path Thunder Tribulation, it meant that he would completely lose control of Jiutianshidi and lose the identity and status of the heavenly Tao of Jiutianshidi. This was something he couldn't bear. Once he lost Jiutianshidi, his strength would be greatly reduced. One should know that more than 90% of his strength originally came from Jiutianshidi. If he lost Jiutianshidi, the consequences could be imagined. It's actually the Great Path Thunder Tribulation. This is really surprising. Zetian didn't think much of it. He was just surprised. For him, the arrival of the Great Path Thunder Tribulation didn't cause him any loss at all. Of course, if Yang Hongwu survived the Great Path Thunder Tribulation, he would only have one more powerful opponent. If Yang Hongwu failed, it was nothing. There was no loss to him. However, if Yang Hongwu failed, Yang Hongwu would completely disappear because of this. In this way, he would have some regrets in his heart because he couldn't kill Yang Hongwu with his own hands. After all, Yang Hongwu had always been his fated opponent. Yang Hongwu, I hope you don't die under the Great Path Thunder Tribulation. If you die like this, I will be too disappointed, Zetian said loudly. When Yang Hongwu heard this, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. At this time, Zetian actually said such words. He was Yang Hongwu's sworn enemy. Back in the ancient wilderness continent, he hated Yang Hongwu to the core. Now, from his tone, it seemed that he didn't want Yang Hongwu to fail like this. This made Yang Hongwu sigh. It was hard to find a confidant, but in fact, an opponent was equally hard to find. For a long time, Zetian was also his enemy. If it weren't for Zetian, Yang Hongwu wouldn't have grown so quickly. Zetian, don't worry. Before you die, I will definitely not fail. After Yang Hongwu finished speaking, his aura changed again. It was as if he was a supreme god. A bright light shot out from his eyes, and his whole person was filled with a strong fighting spirit. All of you must die. At this time, Tian Dao saw that Yang Hongwu and Zetian didn't put him in their eyes at all. This made him very angry. Great Path? So what if they were Great Path? Those who stood in his way would all be killed and destroyed. Chapter 1109. Variant Thunder Tribulation. The pressure of the heavenly path was incomparable. At this time, Yang Hongwu was already struggling under the pressure of the Great Path. He did not expect that the heavenly path would intervene at this time. Zetian's expression also changed drastically. B****, you're crazy. Lightning Tribulation of the Great Path. This is Lightning Tribulation of the Great Path. If you want to die, don't drag me down with you. Zetian was furious. The Thunder Tribulation of the Great Path was no joke. It was extremely terrifying. No one had ever dared to provoke it under the Thunder Tribulation of the Great Path, unless the other party was strong enough to compete with the Great Path or even surpass the power of the Great Path. However, it was too difficult. In the 9 heavens and 10 earths, no one had such ability. Even the heavenly Tao at its peak was far from qualified. The power of the great Tao was supreme. No one could provoke him, not even the heavenly Tao. At this moment, the heavenly Tao had attacked Yang Hongwu. This was a provocation to the great Tao. This way, the wrath of the great Tao was no laughing matter. The pressure of the Great Path was inviolable. Although Zetian wasn't afraid of anything, challenging the Great Path when she knew that she wasn't strong enough was definitely an act of suicide. Boom! With a loud bang, a terrifying bolt of lightning appeared in the sky. It was a golden bolt of lightning. This bolt of lightning instantly turned a part of the space into nothingness. How powerful and terrifying was this power? This space was now a special space. Even an expert at the peak of Tai Real God Realm would not be able to break it. However, under the Great Way Thunder Calamity, it was like a piece of paper that was turned into nothingness. It could be seen that the Great Way Thunder Calamity was ferocious. Yang Hongwu also smiled bitterly. The pressure of the Great Path and the Thunder Tribulation of the Great Path were terrifying. Yang Hongwu, you have to be careful. Your great path thunder tribulation wasn't supposed to be this frightening. However, because of the heavenly path, your great path thunder tribulation has become extremely frightening. It's thousands of times stronger than before, perhaps even more frightening, Bauer said in a grave tone. He did not expect that things would develop like this. Under the lightning tribulation of the great path, the heavenly path actually dared to intervene. What should I do now? The lightning tribulation of the great path is so frightening, and the pressure is so terrifying. I don't have the slightest bit of confidence now. Even if I use the life seal, I might not be able to withstand it. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. These words were true. In front of this powerful pressure, even Yang Hongwu felt his own insignificance. He actually had the urge to sit down and wait for death. Just this aura alone was enough to make him feel this way. If the thunder tribulation of the great path really came down, how could he resist it? If he didn't even have confidence in himself, how could he possibly survive the lightning tribulation? It's not impossible, Bauer said. What is it? Yang Hongwu hurriedly said. As long as I survive the lightning tribulation of the great path, my strength will increase a lot. At that time, everything will be easy. The heavenly path has angered the great path, and Zetian is a demonic cultivator. Therefore, they will share a large part of the lightning tribulation of the great path. Therefore, you still have a chance. What you bear is only 40% of the lightning tribulation of the great path, Bauer said. 40%. Even if it's only 40% of its power, it's still very powerful. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. This was thousands of times stronger than the normal lightning tribulation of the great path. Even the normal lightning tribulation of the great path would not be easy to survive, let alone the strengthened version of the lightning tribulation of the great path. You think too much. I was just scaring you. Although the current lightning tribulation of the great path is powerful, it's not thousands of times stronger. It's only 10 times stronger. However, even if it's only 10 times stronger, it's still very powerful. What you have to bear is the lightning tribulation of the great path, that's 10 times stronger than normal, Bauer said. Therefore, you still have a chance. 10 times? That means I only have to bear twice the power of the lightning tribulation of the great path? Theoretically, yes. However, even if it's twice the power, it's still difficult for you to withstand it. After all, it's already very difficult for you to survive the normal lightning tribulation of the great path. Now that its power has increased, it's even more difficult. Fortunately, Zetian and the heavenly path are here. If you make good use of them, you still have a chance to succeed, Bauer said. There's not much time left. Your lightning tribulation has already descended. You have to figure it out yourself. At this time, Bauer had fallen into a deep sleep. No matter how Yang Hongwu called him, he would not respond. Boom! With a loud bang, a terrible golden thunderbolt blasted down. At this time, the giant face that the heavenly path had transformed into was bombarded by the thunderbolt and instantly became illusory. Yang Hongwu felt that the heavenly path's power had been greatly reduced by this thunderbolt. On the other side, Zetian was also in a difficult position. Under the lightning tribulation of the great path, its power was ferocious. Zetian was also sent flying in an instant. He looked as miserable as a beggar. There was no trace of his previous arrogance. Immortal dragon body open. Devouring real body open. In an instant, Yang Hongwu released his state to the highest level. Behind him, the vision of the 9 dragons was majestic. The dragons roared. His whole person was like an ancient war god. In his hand there was a huge seal that faintly flashed all living things. Boom! The golden thunderbolt blasted Yang Hongwu. The huge seal emitted a light. It was the light of life which blocked the attack. The Great Seal of Life. You actually obtained the Great Seal of Life? Yang Hongwu's body shook. In the distance, Zetian and the Heavenly Path saw Yang Hongwu's great seal of life. They were furious. Although the two of them were stronger than Yang Hongwu, they did not have such a treasure. They were very clear that the Great Seal of Life was not the so-called top true treasure. It was an existence that surpassed true treasures. Therefore, there were so many experts who were scrambling for the Great Seal of Life. However, no matter how much these experts wanted to obtain this powerful treasure, there was nothing they could do. This was because in order to obtain the Life Great Seal, they had to first obtain the seal's acknowledgement. Without the acknowledgement of the Life Great Seal, there was simply no way to obtain the Life Great Seal. The Great Seal of Life was incomparably mysterious. When one did not want to obtain it, no one would be able to obtain it. However, Yang Hongwu actually obtained the Great Seal of Life and could even use it. He had truly obtained the recognition of the Great Seal of Life. How could the two of them not be jealous? Who? Chapter 11:10. Changes. Experts descend of course. Although Yang Hongwu was injured, compared to Tian Dao and Zetian, his injuries were much lighter. However, the current situation was not optimistic. How could the lightning tribulation of the Great Path be so simple? Just one bolt of lightning tribulation was already so terrifying. There were at least 9 bolts of lightning tribulation of the Great Path. It might even be 27 bolts of lightning tribulation, which was the 39 thunder tribulation. The strongest was the 99 thunder tribulation. The true 99 thunder tribulation was extremely terrifying. If the thunder tribulation of the Great Path reached the extreme number of 99, it would be extremely terrifying. It could easily destroy a part of the universe. Yang Hongwu didn't want to encounter such a terrifying lightning tribulation. If that happened, he would be dead. There was no possibility of survival. Boom! The first thunder tribulation did not kill the 3 of them. The thunder tribulation of the Great Path struck down once again. The power of thunder and lightning seemed ordinary, but it contained the supreme power of the Great Path. This supreme power of the Great Path was abnormally terrifying. The golden truth of the Great Path was born with runes. When it struck down, it could tear everything apart. For some people, these great Tao runes could cleanse the body and be of great help. Of course, there was a limit to it. If there was no way to resist it, then it would be a disaster. When Yang Hongwu had gone through the first lightning tribulation, his body had undergone some subtle changes. However, Yang Hongwu did not feel these subtle changes. At this time, he did not have the time to feel these subtle changes. Instead, he had to find a way to deal with the terrible thunder tribulation. If he could not resist the thunder tribulation of the Great Path, he would die. Without life, everything was fake. Damn it! Zetian's expression changed when he saw the second lightning tribulation descending. He transformed into a giant beast, the Taotai beast. Runes of devouring appeared on the body of this giant beast. Yang Hongwu was familiar with these runes. These runes were very similar to the runes of the devouring true body that he had cultivated. The devouring power seemed to come from the same source. As for which devouring rune was stronger and which one was the real devouring rune, it was unknown. The giant beast opened its huge mouth and swallowed the lightning tribulation that was attacking Zetian. Zetian's face became distorted after he swallowed the power of the golden lightning tribulation. He looked very ferocious. The great pain made Zetian feel uncomfortable at all. However, what shocked Yang Hongwu was not the Zetian, but the heavenly Tao. At this moment, an extremely disgusting aura appeared in the heavenly Tao. A huge crack appeared in the void, and a mass of black light shot out from the huge crack. The black light instantly entered the huge face of the heavenly Tao and merged with the heavenly Tao. Gradually, the heavenly Tao changed and turned into a human figure. This human figure slowly solidified. What shocked Yang Hongwu was that this figure was surprisingly similar to himself. He waved his hand and a terrible power burst out. The lightning tribulation was easily deflected. After the lightning tribulation was neutralized, he waved his hand again, and a black light shot towards Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu was shocked. He did not know why this guy had suddenly become so strong. Yang Hongwu wanted to resist. The power of the life seal condensed, but he found that the black light had actually neutralized the lightning tribulation that descended from the great path. This action made Yang Hongwu puzzled. Was this guy an enemy or a friend? Yang Hongwu couldn't figure it out. This guy is an enemy, not a friend. At this moment, Bauer's voice sounded in the depths of Yang Hongwu's consciousness. He was very nervous and his tone was very serious. Yang Hongwu had never seen Bauer so nervous. "You're too weak. You haven't grown up yet. You've disappointed me," the man said. His tone was light and he looked disappointed. "Who are you?" Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. It went without saying that a person who could easily neutralize the lightning tribulation of the Great Path was terrifyingly powerful. "Mo Tianquang, you can't hold it in anymore? You're too impatient." At this moment, Zetian also changed. Compared to before, his aura had also undergone a huge change. His aura was surging, and the huge shadow of the giant beast on his body was even more terrifying. The power of devouring kept flickering, as if it was going to devour everything. "Xiongshi, you're here too." Mo Tianquang waved his hand, and a black power turned into a sharp arrow and shot towards Zetian. "Mo Tianquang, you still haven't improved." Zetian, who was called Xiongshi, smiled and condensed a small black hole, which instantly devoured the power. At this moment, Yang Hongwu was confused. Who were these two people? Tian Dao and Zetian. Were they possessed by these two people? Where did they come from? "Xiongshi, he's mine," Mo Tianquang said coldly. "Don't get in my way." Mo Tianquang's tone was extremely arrogant. The malevolent aura around him was like a torrential wave that was extremely ferocious. What a joke! "Mo Tianquang, he's mine. You, Mo Tianquang, want to snatch him away from me? Dream on." Xiongshi said coldly. "As long as I refine him and obtain the life seal, I can become a supreme true demon." "You want to become a supreme true demon just to save you? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at?" Mo Tianquang mocked. His hands were not idle, as a boundless demonic power turned into a gigantic palm that grabbed at Yang Hongwu. That gigantic palm covered the entire sky. Yang Hongwu could feel that he couldn't move at all. In the face of this horrifying power, he was just like an ant that couldn't fight back at all. This had Yang Hongwu feeling extremely dejected. This was too strong. He couldn't even breathe, so how could he fight back? He could only watch as the other party made a move on him. "Yang Hongwu, you can't be discouraged. They are all old antiques that have cultivated for countless years. They are powerful existences from the higher realms. They are experts that have surpassed the true God region. It's very normal that you aren't their opponent. Also, there's a powerful energy in your body. If you can activate that energy, you will be even stronger than them. You are also an existence that has surpassed the higher realms. You're also an existence that surpasses the upper realm," Bauer said. "Therefore, the only thing you can do now is to activate that mysterious and powerful force in your body. I don't have the time now. Furthermore, I can't even sense that supreme force that you're talking about. How can I activate it?" Yang Hongwu said. Chapter 11:11. The beginning of dual cultivation. Cultivate to the 9th transformation of Yin Yang? Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly in his heart. This was not a big problem. He was already at the 7th transformation of Yin Yang. As long as he dual cultivated with Bai Yiran and Xianming, he would be able to reach the 9th transformation of Yin Yang and cultivate the 9th Heaven Divine Dragon technique. Originally, Yang Hongwu planned to dual cultivate with the two women if he could not break through to the Great Emperor realm. He did not expect that he would succeed. He did not expect that he would reach the Great Emperor realm without dual cultivating with the two women. However, the current situation was unexpected. If he had known, he would have dual cultivated with the two women. How could he have so much time now? Zi Tian and Tian Dao, no, it should be Xiong Shi and Mo Tianquang, would not give him the chance to dual cultivate with the two women. I don't have that much time now, Yang Hongwu said. I can buy you some time. Moreover, the two of them have not decided who is stronger, so you are safe for the time being. As long as you enter the life seal, you will have enough time. Although the two of them are very strong, they are not here in person. They are only here with their consciousness. Even if they decide who is stronger, they will suffer great losses. It will be very difficult for them to break the life seal and catch you in a short time. Moreover, with my help, it will not be a problem to delay them for a few days, Scherbauer said. That is the only way. Yang Hongwu nodded. There was no other way now. The two of them were too strong. They had surpassed the Tai True God realm. Terrifying, too terrifying. Maybe the two of them had already reached the level of immortal real God. An expert of that level was already far beyond his imagination. However, didn't Bai Qi say that he had received the favor of a super expert? Could it be that the two of them were stronger than that super expert? Did they not put him in their eyes? All of this was just Yang Hongwu's thoughts. He knew very well that it would be difficult for him to grow by relying on others. Moreover, they were unreliable. If a person wanted to grow and become a real expert, he had to rely on himself. Only he could rely on himself. Others could never be relied on. Go in. There is not much time left. Don't waste any more time, Scherbauer said. Yang Hongwu nodded. He waved his hand and the life seal appeared. Yang Hongwu instantly entered the life seal and entered the life domain. The common people's God domain was a part of the true God domain. However, the common people's God domain was separated from the true God domain. The common people's God domain had no contact with the true God domain. However, in reality, there was still a mysterious connection between the common people's God domain and the true God domain. There was an unknown power involved in this mysterious connection. Yang Hongwu's current strength was far from enough. He had not truly grasped the life seal. Therefore, he could not feel the connection between them. That kid has entered the life seal. This space had been sealed off by the two of them using their powerful magic. As a result, even if Yang Hongwu entered the life grand seal, he wouldn't be able to escape. The life grand seal was still in this space. If it were any other ordinary martial artists, even if they were great emperors or Tai true gods, they wouldn't be able to notice it. However, to Mo Tianquang and Xiong Shi, even if the life seal was very small, they would still be able to see it, unless the life seal pierced through the void and escaped. However, in front of these two experts, how could it escape so easily? Unless the weapon spirit of the common life grand seal awakened, it was impossible. Moreover, the power of the common life grand seal had yet to recover. If it recovered, how strong would it be? Then, Xiong Shi pushed Mo Tianquang away. He extended his hand and grabbed at the life seal. He wanted to grab the life seal. However, how could Mo Tianquang let him do as he wished? He harumphed coldly and threw out a punch. Vast power, like a raging tsunami, rushed over. It was mighty and unstoppable. Xiong Shi had no choice but to give up on grabbing the life seal. He turned around to block the terrifying attack. At that moment, Yang Hongwu had already entered the life seal. Yang Hongwu could not completely control the life seal. However, he could still mobilize a little bit of its power. Just a little bit. Yang Hongwu moved his mind and summoned Bai Yiran and Xianming out. Xianming, we are now in great danger. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly. This time, we have no choice but to ask for your help. We know. Xianming nodded. You don't have to say much. Actually, we have been together for so long. We already know that this is fate's arrangement. That's right. Bai Yiran nodded. Sister Xianming is right. Our fates are already connected. We can't be separated from each other. Actually, we have already made preparations, Xianming said. This is because I have not given you a status yet. Yang Hongwu's tone was very apologetic, and his heart was filled with guilt. You are all proud daughters of the heavens, but I can't give you a complete feeling, a complete love. You don't have to feel guilty. We are cultivators and we don't care so much. Moreover, our lifespan is almost endless. In that endless years, if there are only two people accompanying each other, how lonely would that be? It would be better to have more sisters. It would be livelier. Xianming said when she heard Yang Hongwu's words. Yang Hongwu knew that the two ladies must be feeling uncomfortable. After all, they were women. They were just comforting him. However, Yang Hongwu did not say more. He made up his mind to treat them well in the future. He must make them happy and not let them suffer any grievances. We don't have much time. Let's start. Xianming blushed when she said this. Although she was usually cold and arrogant and never blushed, she was still a woman. It was inevitable that she would feel shy in front of this kind of thing. Okay. Bairan also nodded and replied softly. Bairan's character was very similar to Xianming's. They were both cold. However, after meeting Yang Hongwu, they changed. After all, they were attracted to each other because of Yang Hongwu's battle constitution. Yang Hongwu's heartbeat accelerated when he saw their expressions. Chapter 11-12. Breakthrough, Disaster, Boom. Heaven and earth shook violently and a terrifying aura burst out. Emo Tianquang and Xiong Shi's faces changed and they stopped fighting. The life seal underwent a huge change. A figure appeared out of nowhere and held the life seal with his right hand. This person was mighty and domineering. He was like a god that had descended. Auspicious clouds surrounded him, and 9 dragons roared behind him. Yang Hongwu, this kid's cultivation has broken through. Emo Tianquang and Xiong Shi did not expect that Yang Hongwu would make a breakthrough at this time. Moreover, his strength had undergone a huge change compared to before. It was like one was in the sky while the other was on the ground. It was shocking. Such a speed of cultivation was too shocking. If the previous Yang Hongwu was a child, then the current Yang Hongwu's strength was that of an adult man. The gap between them wasn't small. I don't care if you are the heaven's path of 9 heavens and 10 earths or Zetian. Now get lost. Get out of my territory. I am the master of 9 heavens and 10 earths now. Yang Hongwu looked at the two of them and said coldly. Through the dual cultivation with Xianming and Bairan, his strength had increased tremendously and he had undergone a fundamental change. The hidden injuries in his body had been removed and his strength had increased tremendously. Most importantly, the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths had been refined and became Yang Hongwu's inner world. The original inner world, namely the little evil demon world, sorcerer world and others, had been completely integrated. Yang Hongwu's strength was like heaven and earth compared to before. They could not be mentioned in the same breath. Although Yang Hongwu had yet to break through to the level of a primordial unity true god, his fighting power had definitely surpassed that of a primordial unity true god. At this moment, he finally knew how terrifying the Tai true god level was. Previously, those guys had entered 9 heavens and 10 earth. If it wasn't for the fact that their cultivation was suppressed, he reckoned that he would have been turned into ashes. The 9 heavens divine dragon skill was a great item and it was extremely powerful. He could truly summon the 9 heavens divine dragons to do battle. The 9 heavens divine dragons were supreme existences. Any one of them was a noble and powerful existence. If the 9 divine dragons appeared at the same time, they would be able to conquer a great universe and break through the great Tao of the void. Of course, Yang Hongwu had only just started cultivating the 9 heavens divine dragon technique. He couldn't summon the true body of the 9 heavens divine dragon, not even one. Reaching the first level of the 9 heavens divine dragon technique meant that one could summon a divine dragon or borrow its power. Yang Hongwu was still far from that level. However, there was one thing that Yang Hongwu was certain of. These two people were very powerful, and these were not their true bodies. As for whether these two people were the Zetian and the heavenly Tao of the Jyotian Shidi, he was still unsure. However, the problem now was to chase these two guys out of this place. The Jyotian Shidi was now in his inner world. If he couldn't chase these two guys out, it would be very dangerous for Yang Hongwu. It was like a ticking time bomb being installed in an ordinary person's body. Or rather, a foreign object in the body would cause discomfort and all sorts of illnesses. Therefore, this hidden danger had to be eliminated. Of course, if these two people weren't strong enough, Yang Hongwu could use the power of his inner world to suppress, kill, and devour them. It was like digesting something after eating it. However, these two guys were too strong. There was no way to suppress them. They had already exceeded the limits of Yang Hongwu's inner world. It was impossible to suppress or kill them. It was like swallowing something like a rock. Moreover, this rock was very precious, but there was no way to digest it. The only way was to take it out. Kid, you're too confident. Although your strength has made a huge breakthrough, you're still far from it. As he spoke, Mo Tianquang unleashed a powerful aura. You have yet to recover. If you had unlocked the memories of your past life and unleashed your original cultivation, I might be wary of you. However, even if you have made a breakthrough now, you won't be able to withstand a single blow. As he spoke, Mo Tianquang unleashed a terrifying power. This power turned into a terrifying saber. This saber seemed to be able to cut through the heavens and earth and destroy the stars in the universe. Yang Hongwu snorted coldly. The life seal in his hand let out a dazzling light. One thought of life. A vast power burst out from the common people's great seal. This was the power of the common people's divine realm. The power of billions of living beings burst out at the same time, condensing into a terrifying power and blasting out. This powerful power condensed into a single point and collided with the battle blade. Boom! With a loud sound, this terrifying power exploded, as though it was going to shatter the heavens and earth. The void shattered, forming terrifying cracks in the void. The appearance of these cracks wasn't where the true danger was. The true danger was a terrifying destructive windstorm. When Mo Tianquang and Xiong Shi saw the destructive windstorm, their faces changed. Damn it, Mo Tianquang! Look at what you've done! Xiong Shi was infuriated. His aura surged crazily, reaching a terrifying limit. At this moment, Yang Hongwu had refined the origin of the 9 heavens and 10 earth. He had merged his own inner world with the 9 heavens and 10 earths, turning the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths into his own inner world. Now, the 9 heavens and 10 earths had been shattered by a powerful force and even attracted a destructive windstorm. This terrifying windstorm had destroyed the 9 heavens and 10 earth. It was extremely terrifying. Yang Hongwu could feel the terrifying impact of the energy. He felt as though he was going to collapse. His body couldn't withstand it and was going to be destroyed. In fact, Yang Hongwu could feel that his soul was going to be destroyed as well. While his consciousness was still clear, Yang Hongwu hurriedly sent all the girls into the life seal and into the life domain. After sending all the girls in, Yang Hongwu used his last bit of strength to struggle into the world of the life seal. Next, with a loud sound, the destructive windstorm arrived. The entire universe collapsed. The 9 heavens and 10 earths were completely destroyed and turned into nothingness. Next, the life seal exploded with a powerful force. The entire life seal was like a sun, illuminating everything. A gigantic vortex burst out from the life seal. This gigantic vortex sucked all the living beings in the 9 heavens and 10 earths into the life seal. Chapter 11-13. Grey Cloud Town. The common people's continent was vast and boundless. On the continent there were countless experts and forces. Among them, The common people's divine palace was the most powerful. The common people's divine palace was the holy land that all cultivators in the common people's continent yearned for. On this day, the blue sky was clear and cloudless. Suddenly, dark clouds covered the sky and a huge crack appeared in the void. Thunder and lightning intersected. A golden light suddenly exploded and scattered in all directions, disappearing without a trace. Grey Cloud Town was a nameless town in the common people's continent. In a small courtyard in a small town. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes and looked around with a wry smile. At this moment, his situation had changed dramatically. His original cultivation was gone, and the strength of his body seemed to have disappeared. Even his battle constitution had changed. Without the 9 dragons' saint body, he had nothing left. Start all over again? I wonder how they are now. Yang Hongwu only remembered that after he sent the girls into the common people's god domain, before he could enter the common people's god domain, there was a huge explosion. At the last moment of the explosion, he felt himself being sent into the common people's god domain by a powerful force. As for the specific situation, he did not know. As for where he was, he did not know. He could only take one step at a time. The first thing he did after waking up was to communicate with the common people's seal. However, he could not do so. Next, he checked his own situation. However, what made Yang Hongwu feel helpless was that his body was in a terrible state. It was as if he had returned to his original state. Moreover, it was worse than he had expected. His cultivation was gone and so was his 9 dragons' saint body. His current physical body could only be described with one word: ordinary. Extremely ordinary. There were many people with such aptitude in the ancient desolate continent. As for the aura of the 9 heavens divine dragon technique, it had disappeared. Not to mention summoning the 9 heavens divine dragon. You're awake. While Yang Hongwu was thinking, the door was pushed open and a middle-aged man walked in. This man was wearing animal skin and had a rough face and firm muscles. He looked very strong. His body was covered with scars, which added a bit of wild charm to this man. Yang Hongwu felt a wave of pressure from him. However, Yang Hongwu knew very well that this middle-aged man was actually not very powerful. After all, Yang Hongwu had once cultivated and reached the martial monarch realm. On the other hand, the man in front of him was at most in the mortal realm. His strength had not even reached the Qi refining realm. Falling from the great emperor realm to such a level, Yang Hongwu was truly depressed. It would be great if he could contact Shurbauer or communicate with the spirit of the life seal. But now, he couldn't even communicate with the battle spirit, let alone Shurbauer or the life seal. Are you the one who saved me? Yang Hongwu looked at him and asked, May I ask where this place is? Yes, I am the one who saved you. This is Grey Cloud Town, my home. I saved you in the Grey Cloud mountain range. At that time, you were covered in blood and your injuries were serious, so I brought you back. Thank you. My name is Yang Hongwu. May I ask for benefactor's name? Yang Hongwu asked. What name? Just call me Duyun. I am a hunter in Grey Cloud Town. Saving you was just a small matter. However, you don't seem to have any cultivation. How did you go to the Grey Cloud mountain range? You should know that there are many fierce beasts in the Grey Cloud mountain range. Looking at you, you seem to be a scholar without any strength. It is very dangerous to go to the Grey Cloud mountain range. Duyun said. Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly and said, I also lost my way and entered the Grey Cloud mountain range inexplicably. There were some things that Yang Hongwu didn't want to say, so he didn't explain. How about this? You should recuperate from your injuries and leave after a few days. Duyun said. Thank you, Big Brother Du, Yang Hongwu bowed and said. Recuperate well. That's right, you don't seem to have cultivated. This won't do. In the Grey Cloud mountain range, if you don't cultivate, it will be difficult to move around. Here is a cultivation technique. you should cultivate it well. It will be of great help to your recovery. As he said that, Du Yun took out a yellowed ancient book from a simple box and handed it to Yang Hongwu. This made Yang Hongwu very moved. He wasn't familiar with Du Yun at all. It could be said that they were strangers. Du Yun didn't know him at all, but he actually gave him a cultivation technique. Moreover, looking at his careful manner, it was enough to prove how precious this cultivation technique was in his eyes. However, he gave this cultivation technique to him, a complete stranger. The hearts of the people here were really simple and kind. In the past, Yang Hongwu had seen so many schemes and schemes. Now that he saw this scene, Yang Hongwu's heart was filled with emotions. This is the gray cloud art. It is a cultivation technique passed down from my ancestors. You should study it well. If you can comprehend it, it would be best. Du Yun said. Big brother Du, this is not appropriate. This is a cultivation technique passed down from your ancestors. How can I cultivate it? Yang Hongwu hurriedly refused. To Yang Hongwu, the cultivation techniques that he knew were countless. Moreover, they were all very powerful and very high level. How could he be interested in an unknown cultivation technique in a small town? Moreover, this cultivation technique was very important to Du Yun. He was just an outsider. Little Wu, you don't have to be like this. The Azure Cloud skill is not a secret in Gray Cloud Town. Everyone knows about it and practices it. It is the entry-level skill of Gray Cloud Town, and everyone knows about it. It is just that this skill book is the original version. It is the most original version passed down from my ancestors. It is said that there is a huge secret in the Azure Cloud skill, but for so many years, no one has been able to find it. Therefore, as time passed, people did not care about the Azure Cloud skill and only regarded it as a foundation-building skill. Even for some rich people, this Azure Cloud skill is not even worth their attention. Therefore, you don't have to refuse. I don't have any powerful skills, so if you practice this Azure Cloud skill, it will be very good. Even if you cannot become a warrior, it can still strengthen your body. Hearing Du Yun's words, Yang Hongwu was relieved. Then it would be impolite for me to refuse. Yang Hongwu carefully received the cultivation technique and said gratefully, You rest well. I have to go hunting. After saying that, Du Yun turned and left the house. Chapter 11:14. Ashen Cloud Godly Formula. Ashen Cloud Godly Formula. A vast amount of information entered Yang Hongwu's mind. This vast amount of information shocked Yang Hongwu to no end. This Ashen Cloud Godly Formula was not as simple as it seemed. It was not an ordinary foundation establishment skill, but an extremely powerful godly formula. Moreover, this skill was extremely mysterious. Although it could not be compared to the Nine Heavens Godly Dragon formula, it was still an extremely powerful skill. As for the Nine Heavens Godly Dragon formula, Yang Hongwu had already tried it, but he was unable to cultivate it. The requirements to cultivate the Nine Heavens Godly Dragon formula were extremely harsh. Most importantly, it required Dragon Chi. Now that Yang Hongwu wanted to cultivate the Nine Heavens Godly Dragon formula, how could he obtain Dragon Chi? Furthermore, that dragon aura was no ordinary dragon aura. It was the aura of a true dragon. Therefore, it was temporarily impossible for Yang Hongwu to cultivate the Nine Heavens Godly Dragon formula. However, the Ashen Cloud Godly formula was the most suitable skill for Yang Hongwu. It was as if it was tailor-made for him. Unknowingly, Yang Hongwu had absorbed all of the golden words. His strength gradually increased. First Qi realm. Second Qi realm. His cultivation level increased at an astonishing speed. It only stopped when he reached the ninth Qi realm. Yang Hongwu opened his eyes. At this moment, his injuries were completely healed. He punched out, and only a muffled sound could be heard. The air was instantly torn apart, and a chair far away exploded into pieces. Although the difference between his physical body and the Nine Dragons' saint body was like heaven and earth, Yang Hongwu was still satisfied. After all, his physical body was very ordinary. With the help of the Ashen Cloud godly formula, he was able to cultivate to such a level in such a short period of time. It was already very rare. Although his physical body was very weak, Yang Hongwu was confident that he could raise his cultivation level. Once again, he stood at the peak. It was only a matter of time before he broke through to the great Emperor realm. Yang Hongwu could faintly feel that breaking through to the Tai Real God realm, or even stepping into the realm above the Tai Real God realm, wasn't something that could be done by relying on one's physical body alone. It required a special realm and special comprehension. This realm and the comprehension contained within it were extremely mysterious, hard to grasp, and hard to comprehend. This was like a layer of window paper that was difficult to pierce through. Although it was only a thin layer, the gap between them was like the difference between heaven and earth. It was like the difference between heaven and earth, cloud and mud. After sending out this punch, Yang Hongwu felt comfortable all over. Yang Hongwu realized that his physical body wasn't that simple. Although it looked ordinary, the minute details of his physical body were like tiny worlds. It was just a feeling. It was a pity that his dragon soul, primordial spirit, and even mental strength had been greatly consumed in the explosion. Currently, it was less than 1/10,000th of his peak state. It was difficult to explore the minute details of his physical body. When Yang Hongwu pushed open the door, he saw Du Yun stumbling in with blood all over his body. "Big brother Du, what's wrong?" Yang Hongwu asked hastily. "It's not good." For some reason, the beasts in the depths of the Ashen Cloud Mountain started to riot. Our Ashen Cloud Town is the first to bear the brunt. The Ashen Cloud Protectors can't hold them off. We have to retreat immediately and leave this place. Otherwise, it will be too late. Du Yun said, "Xiao Wu, pack up quickly and leave with me." Beasts riot? Yang Hongwu's eyes shot out a ray of cold light and said, "How strong are the beasts?" "You, Xiao Wu, your cultivation?" At this moment, Du Yun finally reacted. When he saved Yang Hongwu, he realized that Yang Hongwu's body didn't have a trace of cultivation. But now, he realized that he couldn't see through Yang Hongwu. His aura was the same as the captain of the Ashen Cloud Protectors, Lin Yong, giving him great pressure. Could it be that Du Yun was originally an expert with the same strength as the captain of the Ashen Cloud Protectors, a 9th-level Qi Realm expert? This is all thanks to Big Brother Du's Ashen Cloud art. It allowed me to cultivate all the way to the 9th level of the Qi Realm. But it's a pity that the Ashen Cloud art book has turned into ashes. Yang Hongwu looked at Du Yun apologetically. After all, he had destroyed Du Yun's ancestral treasure. "You have comprehended the secret of the Ashen Cloud art?" Du Yun wasn't angry when he heard this. Instead, he was overjoyed. He excitedly grabbed Yang Hongwu's hand and said, "This is great. This is great. Our Ashen Cloud Town is saved." Looking at Du Yun's incoherent speech, Yang Hongwu said, "Big brother Du, don't get too excited. The most important thing for us now is to protect Ashen Cloud Town." "That's right, Xiao Wu. You are now an expert at the 9th level of the Qi Realm. You can join forces with Captain Lin Yong to kill the Beast King. As long as we kill the Beast King, Ashen Cloud Town will be saved." Du Yun said, "Come with me, let's go find Captain Lin Yong." Not long after, Yang Hongwu and Du Yun arrived at the front line. Yang Hongwu saw a group of people desperately defending against the attacks of ferocious beasts. There were wolves, tigers, and the most ferocious of them all was a two-headed wolf. This two-headed wolf was extremely huge, at least 2 meters tall. Its sharp claws and fangs were like sharp blades. Anyone who came into contact with it would either die or be severely injured. Only one person was able to hold it off. That person was wearing a black armor and wielding a war blade. He was panting and his body was covered in blood. It was obvious that he was injured. On the other hand, the two-headed wolf was still full of energy and ferocious. Pouncing, biting, and leaping, it displayed great strength. What a beast! Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with fighting spirit. This two-headed wolf seemed to be the beast king of this pack of ferocious beasts. Just like the savage beasts of the ancient desolate continent, this two-headed wolf's strength was enough to fight against an ordinary true Qi realm warrior. This Lin Yong was also very strong. With the protection of his armor and his cultivation at the 9th level of the Qi realm, he was able to fight this two-headed wolf for so long. It was not easy. Let me do it! Yang Hongwu roared and charged forward with his bare hands. He condensed his energy into his fists and used the Arhat worships the mountain right from the start. This move was a very ordinary fist technique called the Arhat fist. On Earth, it was a very ordinary fist technique without any fancy move. However, when Yang Hongwu used it, it was incomparably mysterious. Great skill appeared clumsy, and this was the logic behind the saying, "Great skill does not require skill." The fist was strong and powerful, and it landed heavily on the two-headed wolf. The huge two-headed wolf was actually pushed back by Yang Hongwu's fist. This scene made Lin Yong dumbstruck. Chapter 11:15. Boom! Roar! The two-headed wolf was forced back. It let out a furious roar. This weak human actually dared to provoke it. The furious two-headed wolf's eyes flashed with a cold light. It opened its mouth, revealing its sharp teeth. After stabilizing its body, it pounced at Yang Hongwu. Its speed was extremely fast, like a bolt of lightning. Be careful! Seeing this, Lin Yong's expression changed. As the beast king of this pack of beasts, the double-headed wolf's strength was relatively strong. It was even stronger than the average true energy realm expert. Lin Yong himself had long since made preparations to fight to the death. He wanted to buy some time for the people of Grey Cloud Town to escape safely. Yang Hongwu's appearance surprised him. Of course, it also gave him a chance to survive. Of course, he didn't want Yang Hongwu to be killed by the two-headed wolf. Although Yang Hongwu was strong, he knew that Yang Hongwu was only in the mortal realm. Like him, they were only at the 9th level of the mortal realm. If they joined forces, they might have a chance to kill the Beast King. Once the Beast King was killed, Grey Cloud Town would be saved and they would be able to survive. Therefore, if Yang Hongwu was killed at this time, they would have no hope. After all, Yang Hongwu was once a great Emperor realm cultivator, and had experienced countless battles of life and death. This was merely a two-headed wolf. Even if it could contend against a true energy realm cultivator, in his eyes, it was nothing. Although it seemed incomparably dangerous, he didn't take it to heart, neither fast nor slow. The two-headed wolf's sharp teeth were about to bite Yang Hongwu's neck. At this moment, Yang Hongwu moved. He was as quiet as a virgin, but as agile as a rabbit. In the blink of an eye, Yang Hongwu threw out a punch. Surging killing intent condensed on both of his fists. The terrifying killing intent seemed to have frozen the air. The two-headed wolf's movement paused in front of Yang Hongwu's terrifying killing intent. 10-direction killing fist. This was the all-directional killing fist. Even though Yang Hongwu's cultivation, magical power, and mental power were greatly reduced, his murderous aura was still very terrifying. Yang Hongwu grew up in the ancient Desolation continent. From the mortal realm to the great Emperor realm, although it was only a short period of 100 years, his killing intent was extremely terrifying. Every expert grew up by stepping on mountains of corpses and seas of bones. Yang Hongwu was no exception. His spiritual power was gone, his spiritual power had dropped, and his cultivation had dropped. However, his murderous aura was still there. The murderous aura that Yang Hongwu was exuding now was only 1% of his peak. Even so, it was still very terrifying. Killing intent, like a dragon, ferocious. Killing intent was like a blade. Each blade. Die! Yang Hongwu roared and punched out. His killing intent crashed into the two-headed wolf's head. Bang! With a crisp sound, one of the two-headed wolf's heads was smashed like a watermelon. Blood splattered and dyed the entire area red. Seeing this scene, Lin Yong, who was originally very worried, was shocked to the extreme. The one who was even more shocked was Du Yun. He never would have thought that the person he casually saved would actually be so powerful and have such shocking combat strength. Could it be that he was a true Qi realm expert? Or even an existence that surpassed the true Qi realm? However, no matter what, he had defeated the Beast Kings. This also meant that the Grey Cloud Town was saved. The Grey Cloud Town was their home for generations. No one was willing to leave because of this. There were even many old people who were willing to die under the ferocious beasts rather than leave the Grey Cloud Town, their home. The two-headed wolf's head was smashed by Yang Hongwu. It immediately knew how terrifying Yang Hongwu was. It could become a beast king, of course, it had a certain level of intelligence. This person was so terrifying that he was strong enough to kill it. If it continued, it would definitely die in his hands. Therefore, it instantly made a decision to escape. Want to escape? Can you escape? Yang Hongwu saw that the two-headed wolf wanted to escape. How could he let it leave like this? His eyes emitted a cold light. Wind gathered under his feet, and like a sharp arrow, he instantly shot out. Following that, he fiercely threw out a punch. The strength of the punch was like a mountain bombarding out. This punch was even more powerful, even more domineering, and even more powerful. Bang! With a loud sound, this punch heavily landed on the two-headed wolf's huge body. The two-headed wolf's huge body was directly pierced through by this punch. Its huge body fell to the ground with a loud bang. Hiss! The crowd immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. This punch was terrifying. His strength was too strong. What kind of strength was this? He actually killed the two-headed wolf with a single punch. Not only that, after the fist energy pierced through the two-headed wolf's body, it also broke a big tree behind it. This kind of cultivation was really shocking. It was hard to imagine. After the two-headed wolf was killed, the other ferocious beasts fled one after another. There was no longer a situation where they were crazily attacking like before. On the other hand, on the human side, everyone's aura was like a dragon. In an instant, all of them exploded with powerful fighting strength. Xiao Wu, no, young Master Yang, this time, thank you very much. Du Yun, who regained his senses, hurriedly said to Yang Hongwu. His tone was very grateful, but it was different from before. In Du Yun's eyes, it was filled with respect and gratitude. This made Yang Hongwu a little uncomfortable. Du Yun was his savior, but he was so respectful to him. This was something that Yang Hongwu did not want to see. Big brother Du, you don't have to be like this. You are my savior. How can I accept this? Yang Hongwu hurriedly said. No, 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 you can't say it like that. I saved you just because it was convenient. Moreover, with your cultivation, even without my help, you can still recover. Du Yun said, you are the one who has done us a great favor. You saved the entire Grey Cloud Town. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid that we would all die here. Yes, young Master Yang, you are the savior of the entire Grey Cloud Town. I am here, representing the entire Grey Cloud Town, to express our gratitude to you. Lin Yong also respectfully bowed to Yang Hongwu. This was his gratitude to his savior, and also his respect to the strong. The people of Grey Cloud Town also bowed one after another. Chapter 11:16. The qualification of the sect of the Ether. After the beasts were driven away, the Grey Cloud Town did not return to its former tranquility. Instead, people began to rebuild the town. For a better life, men and women, old and young, all began to work. Everyone was busy. The only one who was leisurely was Yang Hongwu. He had nothing else to do at all. Every day, he just walked around and practiced the Dark Cloud Divine skill. Of course, the most important thing was that Yang Hongwu wanted to practice his original techniques, such as the Nine Heavens Divine Dragon technique and the Immortal Dragon Body. However, the result of the experiment made young Hongwu feel very helpless. He had no way to practice these techniques. It seemed that his current physical body was already cut off from him. Of course, he could practice the mind-refining sutra and the kill fist. For Yang Hongwu, the mind-refining sutra could restore his spiritual power, and the power of the kill fist would increase day by day. After only a few days of practice, Yang Hongwu's cultivation had reached the peak of the Qi realm. He was only one step away from the Qi realm and directly into the realm of true Qi. For Yang Hongwu, who had reached the Emperor realm, it was easy to break through this threshold. However, Yang Hongwu did not want to break through so quickly. He wanted to lay a good foundation. Moreover, Yang Hongwu had a feeling that the more solid the foundation in the Qi realm was, the more helpful it would be for him to practice the Gray Cloud skill. Yang Hongwu faintly felt that there was a special power in the Gray Cloud skill. There was a force in the unseen world that was pulling him to practice the Gray Cloud skill. Although Yang Hongwu did not like the feeling of being led by the nose, there was no other way. Because practicing the Gray Cloud skill here would make Yang Hongwu's strength improve faster and his foundation become more solid. Another thing was that there was a voice in the unseen world that told him that if he wanted to break through this space and see Yu-Ji and the other girls again, he must practice the Gray Cloud skill to the extreme and reach the peak of this world. Only then would he have the chance to see them again. In either case, Yang Hongwu had no choice but to practice the Songyun divine formula. Little Wu, let me tell you some good news. While Yang Hongwu was cultivating, Lin Yong pushed open the door and walked in with an excited look on his face. Big brother Lin, what made you so happy? Yang Hongwu looked at Lin Yong and said. Lin Yong's aptitude was not outstanding, but he had a kind of perseverance. This kind of perseverance was something that ordinary people lack. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was very optimistic about Lin Yong's future. What Lin Yong lacked now was a kind of opportunity and a suitable cultivation method. It's the sect of the Ether that has started to collect the money. We, the Gray Cloud Town, have a recommendation quota and we have decided to give it to you, Lin Yong said. The sect of the Ether, Yang Hongwu was not unfamiliar with this name. The sect of the Ether was a powerful sect. In the eyes of the people in the Gray Cloud Town, it was very mysterious and powerful. If one could enter the sect of the Ether, he or she would definitely become an immortal. However, for people like Lin Yong, entering the sect of the Ether was a kind of supreme glory. But for Yang Hongwu, it was not the same. It was just a sect. Yang Hongwu had seen countless powerful forces. Even he himself was an existence that could destroy a world at will. How could a mere sect enter his eyes? However, now, after all, his cultivation had not recovered and his strength was still very weak. Even if he looked down on the sect of the Ether, he had to admit that if he could enter the sect of the Ether, it would be of great help to him. After all, there were countless resources in the sect of the Ether. If he had to find the resources to improve his cultivation, it would be more difficult. For Yang Hongwu, such a qualification to enter the sect of the Ether was not a big deal. But for Lin Yong and the others, it was an opportunity to reach the sky in one step. It was very rare. It was imaginable that it was like a mortal becoming an immortal in one step. Yang Hongwu was very shocked that Lin Yong and the others were willing to give such an opportunity to him. Brother Lin, this is something that everyone in the Gray Cloud Town has been waiting for a long time. Even you have been waiting for it for countless years, Yang Hongwu said. The entrance examination of the sect of the Ether was not held once a year, but once every 10 years. Moreover, the quota was very limited. When the examination was about to begin, countless people would fight for the opportunity to enter the sect of the Ether. No need. We don't have any outstanding young people in the Gray Cloud Town. It would be a waste to give this opportunity to us. It's better to give it to you. Moreover, you are the savior of the entire Gray Cloud Town. If we give this opportunity to you, no one will object and no one will say anything, Lin Yong said. What Lin Yong said was true. Although the Grey Cloud Town was very united, if such a quota was not used properly, it could be a great danger to the town. Just as the two of them were discussing, the sound of hurried footsteps could be heard. Captain Lin, something bad has happened, a guard of the Grey Cloud Town said. What's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry? Lin Yong frowned and looked at him with some dissatisfaction. Brother Lin, don't be angry. Maybe this brother really has something urgent? Let's listen to what happened that made him so anxious, Yang Hongwu said when he saw Lin Yong scolding him. The guard looked at Yang Hongwu gratefully and said, Brother Lin, Master Yang, this is what happened. When we were patrolling, a group of people came. They said that they were from the Chiu family of the Yenyun County. This time, they came here for the qualification to enter the sect of the Ether in the Grey Cloud Town. Moreover, they were very arrogant and had already injured a few of our brothers. What? You said that they were from the Yenyun County? Lin Yong's face changed slightly. As a guard of the Grey Cloud Town, he had seen a lot. The Yenyun County was a big county, which was far from a small place like the Grey Cloud Town. Furthermore, the Chiu family was one of the 3 big families in the Yenyun County. They were very powerful. It was said that there was someone who had surpassed the genuine Qi realm in the Chiu family. What did it mean to have someone who had surpassed the genuine Qi realm? Lin Yong knew very well that a strong person in the genuine Qi realm was enough to destroy the entire Grey Cloud Town. Chapter 11-17. Murderous intent surging. What should we do? Lin Yong was very anxious. The Chiu family was a powerful family. No one in the Grey Cloud Town could resist them, not even Yang Hongwu. Little Wu, take this token and get out of here quickly. This token is the qualification for the Grey Cloud Town to take the entrance examination of the sect of the Ether. With this token, you can take part in the entrance examination of the sect of the Ether. Lin Yong said as he shoved a token into Yang Hongwu's hand and pushed him out of the door. Brother Lin, I can't do that. If I leave with this token, the Grey Cloud Town will suffer. The Chiu family of the Yenyun County is not a kind family. I can't just watch the Grey Cloud Town fall into their evil hands. Yang Hongwu said. No, they won't dare. Lin Yong said. There's nothing they won't dare to do. Yang Hongwu said coldly, Brother Lin, don't you think that the riot of the beasts in the Grey Cloud Mountain is a bit strange? Why is it that the beasts in the Tsongyun mountain range haven't shown any abnormalities for so many years, but at this time there was a riot? Moreover, the rioting beasts were just some ordinary beasts in the periphery. There weren't any powerful demonic beasts. Logically speaking, in the history of the Tsongyun continent, every time there was a riot, there would be demonic beasts. Moreover, it would be a large-scale riot. It would never be a simple riot in a small area. What's more strange is that after the riot was quelled, the Chiu family of Yenyun County arrived. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? This can't be right. If the sect of the Ether knew that someone used this method to snatch the entrance examination, the consequences would be unimaginable. Lin Yong said. Brother Lin, you think too much. In the path of cultivation, the weak are prey to the strong. This is nothing. The sect of the Ether won't care about the entrance examination. They just need to select the right disciples. As for the qualification used to obtain the entrance examination token, they won't care too much. Yang Hongwu said. For this kind of thing, Yang Hongwu had seen too many, so he was not surprised. Since this is the Chiu clan's plot, then we cannot give this examination opportunity to them. Little Wu, you should quickly leave. You are not from our Grey Cloud Town, and they will not be able to find you. If something really happens to our Grey Cloud Town, you can help us get rid of the Chiu clan in the future. Also, some of the younger members of our Grey Cloud Town will also leave with you. I hope that you can take good care of them. After saying that, Lin Yong ordered people to leave. Yang Hongwu said, Big Brother Lin, don't worry. Since the Chiu family is so aggressive, they must be prepared. How can they give us a chance to leave? If my guess is right, the whole Grey Cloud town has been surrounded. We have been blocked and there is no way out. Therefore, even if we want to leave, it is impossible. The Chiu family is determined to get the qualification to enter the sect of the Ether. They will not make such a mistake. So, if we don't give up the qualification, the Grey Cloud town will cease to exist. Lin Yong's face darkened. Do we have to give up the token? No, even if we give up the qualification, the Chiu clan will not give up easily. They will not let us go. Yang Hongwu shook his head and sighed. In the eyes of some big clans, the lives of people in a small town were nothing. If the news was leaked out, then it would be a big deal. Then what should we do? Lin Yong was able to become the captain of the Grey Cloud Protectors, so he was aware of some things. After all, he had a bit of knowledge, which was far from what an ordinary person could compare with. Therefore, he could also see that Yang Hongwu was not an ordinary person. What he said was indeed true. The Chiu clan had already made such a big fuss over the qualification to enter the sect of the Ether. It must not be so simple. Is there no other way? Lin Yong murmured. Don't worry, take me to see the people of the Chiu clan. I don't put a mere Chiu clan in my eyes. Yang Hongwu's eyes burst out a terrifying cold light. Although his cultivation had fallen and was far from recovering, it was not something that a small clan could bully. True Qi realm, so what if they were in the True Qi realm? Although he had not recovered, he could still kill them. True Qi realm warriors, in front of Lin Yong and the others, may be high and mighty, as unattainable as the emperor. However, in Yang Hongwu's eyes, it was just the same. It was only the True Qi realm. If he wanted to, he could break through at any time. However, Yang Hongwu wanted to lay a solid foundation for himself. After all, he was a person who had cultivated once, so he deeply understood that the physical body was the foundation. For any warrior, only a strong enough physical body could withstand a strong force. The physical body was like a big vat, and the cultivation was like the water in the vat. Only when the vat was big enough, could it hold more water. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was not in a hurry to break through. Instead, he wanted to temper his physical body. This physical body was recondensed, but compared to the previous one, it was much weaker. However, this also gave Yang Hongwu a chance. This seemingly ordinary and weak physical body had great potential. It could be continuously tempered, and it could even surpass the previous physical body. This is the only way. If there is really no other way, then Little Wu, you take Little Song and the others and leave this place. We old guys will fight it out with them. Lin Yong said, and a fierce murderous aura erupted from his body. Don't worry, things have not reached that stage yet. Yang Hongwu said with a faint smile, I said before that I will protect everyone's safety. I will protect the entire Grey Cloud town. I will definitely do it. Soon, the group arrived at the central hall of Grey Cloud Town. Just as Yang Hongwu and the others arrived, they saw a person lying in a pool of blood. A few young Grey Cloud Town youths were glaring at the Chiu family's guards. When he saw the person lying in the pool of blood, Yang Hongwu's eyes turned red. His entire body erupted with a terrifying murderous aura. This terrifying murderous aura seemed to have frozen the air. The surrounding temperature dropped to the freezing point. The surrounding people could not help but shiver. Yang Hongwu's gaze was like a sharp knife. He stared at the guard who was holding a long blade in his hand. The blade was still dripping with blood. The person lying in the pool of blood was none other than Yang Hongwu's savior, Du Yun. Chapter 11-18. Azure Cloud Sword Technique. Are you talking about this lowly commoner? That's right, I killed him. The leader of the guards was shocked when he saw Yang Hongwu's murderous aura. However, as the captain of the Chiu family's guards, how could he be scared? His dignity did not allow him to show it, so he said coldly. Good, very good. Since you killed him, then you will die. After Yang Hongwu finished speaking, he punched out fiercely. A terrifying murderous aura gathered on his fists and exploded. Before the guard could react, this punch landed heavily on the guard's chest. Bang! With a muffled sound, the guard was sent flying like a kite with its string cut. The next moment, he crashed heavily into the ground. Blood flowed from his mouth as he twitched a few times. It was obvious that he had lost all signs of life. How dare you! When Chiu Song saw that his guard captain had been killed by Yang Hongwu, he was incomparably furious. He did not expect that in this small border town there would be someone so daring to kill his guard. This was a challenge to the Chiu family's prestige. Do you know what you are doing? You dare to kill him, kill our Chiu family's guard. Do you know that you are courting death? Courting death. Yang Hongwu snorted coldly. Today, none of you will live. All of you will die. Ha ha. Ha ha. Chiu Song laughed wildly when he heard this. Kid, don't think that just because you have a little bit of cultivation, you can do whatever you want. You think that you are invincible. Let me tell you, you are still far from it. To Chiu Song, this was the biggest joke. What was the status of the Chiu family? How powerful was the Chiu family? The guard that was just killed was only at the first level of the true energy realm, and he had just entered the true energy realm. Moreover, that guard was just careless. If he was not careless, he would not have died. And this kid in front of him naively thought that he was invincible. He thought that by killing one of his guards, he could kill all of them. He really did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Really? Yang Hongwu's cultivation base had been raised and his aura had erupted. His entire person was like an unsheathed treasured sword, sharp and unstoppable. Chiu Lin, go, kill him for me. Yes, second young master. A man dressed in black beside him nodded. This man's aura was restrained and he was very strong. It was obvious that his cultivation was not weak. In Grey Cloud Town, the sixth stage of the true energy realm was an existence that 5 people could compare to. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. Sixth stage of the true energy realm, not bad at all. Although Yang Hongwu was strong, his opponent was at the 6th stage of the true energy realm, while he was only at the 9th stage of the Qi realm. The gap between them was huge. However, Yang Hongwu did not care. So what if he was at the 6th level of the true energy realm? Chiu Lin's aura exploded. A powerful aura came crashing down on Yang Hongwu. In his eyes, a mere 9th level Qi realm martial artist was like an ant. There was no need for him to care. Kid, it is your honor to die in my hands. In Chiu Lin's opinion, to let a 6th level true energy realm martial artist deal with a 9th level Qi realm martial artist was like using a butcher's knife to kill a chicken. It was like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. However, since the second young master had spoken, he had to listen. Sword, come! Yang Hongwu shouted. In the distance, a long sword flew into Yang Hongwu's hand with a so sound. A set of sword techniques flashed through Yang Hongwu's mind. This set of sword techniques was from the Grey Cloud godly skill. Although Yang Hongwu had never used it before, he had practiced it thousands of times in his mind. This set of sword techniques was not weak at all compared to the 10-direction killing fist. Moreover, in his current situation, it was more suitable for him to use. The 10-direction killing fist's murderous aura was too strong. His body could not completely withstand it, and it might cause unnecessary side effect. However, if he used the Grey Cloud sword technique, it would be different. This set of sword techniques could be fully utilized here. Using a sword? Kid, show me your strongest strength. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. Chiu Lin looked at the long sword in Yang Hongwu's hand. He did not care at all. His eyes were filled with contempt, and his tone was filled with mockery. As you wish. Yang Hongwu's voice fell. The long sword in his hand swung, and a ray of sword light shot out, piercing through the sky. Its speed was shocking, and it disappeared in a flash. No. Impossible. Chiu Lin's eyes were filled with shock. He could not believe it, and his heart was filled with regret. However, it was all too late. The gray cloud sword technique was too fast, too terrifying. No one could see clearly how the sword came out. All they saw was a flash of lightning, and Qiu Lin's throat was cut open. It took a while for blood to spurt out. Until his death, he did not expect that the opponent he looked down on would have such a terrifying sword technique. It killed him in one strike. How is this possible? A lowly commoner could have such a terrifying sword technique? Qiu Song was also shocked. Qiu Lin was one of the two powerful guards given to him by the family. Although he was not the strongest in the family, he was still one of the strongest. The only ones who could be stronger than him were the elders in the family. Obviously, with their status, it was impossible for them to send out the elders, unless he could become one of the top 5 geniuses in the family. But he knew that if he did not have any other fortuitous encounters, it would be impossible for him to reach that level. But soon, his eyes lit up. Opportunity! This was a huge opportunity. As long as he could obtain this sword technique, not only would he become one of the top 5 geniuses in the family, he could even become the most outstanding genius in the family. This sword technique, in the hands of a lowly commoner at the 9th level of the Qi realm, had such a terrifying power. If he could obtain it, then the power he could display would be earth-shattering. This was definitely a super sword technique, and its level was at least of the mystic class. A mystic class sword technique, how powerful was that? Even in the entire Yenyun County, there were only 3 mystic class skills, and these 3 skills were all in the hands of the 3 major families. The Qiu family was one of them, and it was because of this incomplete mystic class skill that the Qiu family became one of the 3 major families in the Yenyun County. A mystic class sword technique, just thinking about it made Qiu Song's blood boil. Chapter 11-19. Breakthrough. Kid, if you are willing to hand over the sword technique, I can spare your life. Qiu Song narrowed his eyes flashing with greed. Yang Hongwu sneered. If you want my sword technique, you can come and get it yourself. Yang Hongwu was very clear that some of the people from the big families were like this. I think you are refusing a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Qiu Song said coldly, Do you know who I am? I am Qiu Song, a member of Yenyun County's Qiu family. My status is high, and you are just a lowly commoner. It is your honor that I am interested in your things. If you don't hand over what I want, I will let you die without a burial place. Even the entire Grey Cloud Town will die because of you. Do you know that? That's right. If you don't give the young master what he wants, then you have committed a great sin. Why aren't you obediently handing over the sword technique to the young master? Perhaps the young master can give you some rewards. He can even let you become the young master's follower and a disciple of the Qiu family. A maid beside Qiu Song said. Little Yen is still the most obedient. Kid, did you hear that? If you hand over the sword technique to me, I can let you become a disciple of the Qiu family. How rare is this opportunity? Do you know? It is your honor. Once you enter the Qiu family and become a disciple of the Qiu family, you will not have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of your life. Moreover, you will become a superior existence, far from what you can compare to in this small border town. Qiu Song said. Are these your last words? Yang Hongwu sneered, his eyes filled with mockery. You? Qiu Song was angered by his words. Kill him. Go, kill him for me. How could he stand such mockery? As the young master of the Qiu family, he was high and mighty. Even if his aptitude and talent were mediocre and not even in the top 5, he was still the second son of the Qiu family head. He was the second young master of the Qiu family. His status was incomparably noble. No matter where he went, he was worshipped and no one dared to contradict him. But now Yang Hongwu did not put him in his eyes at all. How could he not be angry? Do you have a lot of people? Seeing the Qiu family's guards move, Lin Yong coldly snorted. With a wave of his hand, the gray cloud guards all gathered around. No need, I alone am enough. At this moment, Yang Hongwu stopped Lin Yong and turned around. His figure flashed and his whole body was extremely agile. His speed was extremely fast, and the long sword in his hand was constantly waving. The sword light kept flashing like beautiful fireworks. Every time a sword light flashed, a Chiu family guard would fall. After a dozen breaths of time, all the Chiu family guards, except for those by Chiu Song's side, died under Yang Hongwu's sword. What a beautiful sword art! What a terrifying sword art! Is this the secret of the Azure Cloud art? Seeing this scene, Lin Yong muttered. Everyone in Azure Cloud Town knew that there was a legend about the Azure Cloud art. It was said that the Azure Cloud art was originally a very powerful cultivation technique. However, after so many years, no one was able to successfully cultivate it. Over time, the Azure Cloud art became a very ordinary foundation establishment cultivation technique. In fact, they had also cultivated the Azure Cloud sword art before. However, no one was able to display the Azure Cloud sword art to such an extent. When they displayed the Azure Cloud sword art, it was just an ordinary sword art. There was nothing mysterious about it. However, when Yang Hongwu displayed it, it was so mysterious and powerful. It was unbelievable. Damn it, trash, all of you are trash. Seeing more than 10 of his guards killed by Yang Hongwu, while Yang Hongwu was not injured at all, he was completely enraged. However, the old man beside Chiu Song narrowed his eyes and flashed a strong murderous intent. To him, Yang Hongwu was no longer an ordinary warrior in the Qi realm. His strength was so strong that it was far beyond the ordinary warriors in the true Qi realm. He was strong enough to compete with a warrior in the late stage of the true Qi realm. This old man was Chiu Song's master. Although he was not an official of the Chiu family, his strength was, in fact, enough to become an official of the Chiu family. This was Chiu Song's biggest trump card. The secret that Azure Cloud Town had the qualification to enter the sect of the Ether was also told to him by this old man. Chiu Song took a deep breath and calmed his anger. He looked at the old man beside him and said, "Master, this kid's cultivation level is not very high, but his sword art is very scary. I am afraid I will have to trouble you to do something about it." Yes, this kid looks like he is in the 9th level of the Qi realm, but his cultivation level should be above the 7th level of the true Qi realm. He must have practiced a secret technique to hide his cultivation level. That is why he looks like he is in the 9th level of the Qi realm. However, even if he hides his cultivation level, if I want to kill him, he will die without a doubt. The old man said calmly, as if victory was already in his hands. At this time, Yang Hongwu walked towards Chiu Song. With every step, Yang Hongwu's aura became stronger. Every step he took on the ground made a sound like the beating of a drum. He had already thrown away the long sword in his hand. Yang Hongwu knew that the old man in front of him had extraordinary strength. Although this old man had not reached the Qi realm, he was not far from it. He had already reached the peak of the true Qi realm, and was only one step away from the Qi realm. Therefore, to Yang Hongwu, his current cultivation level, the 9th level of the Qi realm, was still lacking. He needed to break through to the true Qi realm. After all, the gap was too big. Even if the Azure Cloud sword art was powerful and extraordinary, it might not be able to defeat his opponent. Therefore, the only way was to break through to the true Qi realm, and then use the 10-direction killing fist to kill his opponent. He wants to break through? Who does this kid think he is? Seeing that Yang Hongwu wanted to break through, Chiu Song could not help but snort. But the old man beside Chiu Song had a serious expression. Only he knew that Yang Hongwu was accumulating strength. With every step he took, his aura would increase by a lot. If he was allowed to continue, he really could break through. Moreover, this kid's fighting strength was already very terrifying. If he was allowed to successfully accumulate strength and break through to the true Qi realm, He might not be able to defeat this kid. Therefore, the old man made his move. He wanted to kill Yang Hongwu before he successfully broke through. In a flash, the old man was like an agile ape. The stick in his hand struck out like lightning. This strike looked simple, but it was actually very clever. The air was torn apart, and the sound of cloth being torn could be heard. Just as it was about to hit Yang Hongwu's aura reached its peak. Bang! The aura surged wildly, and Yang Hongwu's body shook. He broke through. Chapter 11:20. The strong cultivates again. You're only in the true Qi realm. I can't let you live. Seeing the scene after Yang Hongwu's breakthrough, the old man's eyes emitted a cold light. He increased the strength of his attack. A mere Qi realm martial artist was already so ferocious and terrifying. Now that he had reached the true Qi realm, he was indeed even more powerful. If he was allowed to cultivate further, how powerful would he be? If he reached the middle stage of the true energy realm, perhaps no one would be able to resist him. If such a monstrous genius was not one of their own, then they would have to nip him in the bud and completely destroy him before he could mature. Old thing, good move. Looking at the old man's attack, Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with a sneer. This old man's strength was not bad. However, if he had not broken through to the true Qi realm, he would not have had the confidence to deal with him. However, now that his cultivation had broken through to the true Qi realm, his strength had increased by more than just a little. Unlike the average person, Yang Hongwu's true Qi quality was 100 times or 1,000 times that of an average person. It was not even on the same level. It was comparable to the level of other martial artists in the aura realm. 10-direction killing fist, God of Death descends. With a light shout, the power of his fist exploded. 10-direction killing fist, when used in the true Qi realm, its power had increased exponentially. Compared to when used in the Qi realm, the difference was like heaven and earth. The surging murderous aura condensed, as if forming a terrifying Azura god of death. The aura was majestic, looking down on everything. The murderous aura was suffocating. Bang! With a loud sound, the two forces of Qi collided, setting off a majestic Qi wave. The surrounding dust and sand were rolled up, and the grass and trees were shaken by the Qi wave. Some of the weaker martial artists were shaken to the point of vomiting blood. Such powerful strength. Seeing this, everyone present felt their blood boil. Qiusong was shocked. This guy's strength was too terrifying. He was clear about his master's strength. It was not something an average person could compare with. This young man's talent was shocking. He was very jealous. If he had such strength, how good would it be? How could a lowly commoner have such powerful strength? God was so unfair. Yang Hongwu revealed a faint smile after the attack. He had already figured out the old man's strength. Although the old man's strength wasn't bad, it was still weaker than he had imagined. It wouldn't be difficult to deal with this old man. What shocked the old man the most was that Yang Hongwu's battle experience was actually so rich. He didn't seem like a martial artist who had just entered the true energy realm, but rather like an experienced antique. He even had a feeling that this brat's battle experience was even richer than his own. Could it be that this kid was the reincarnation of a mighty figure? At the thought of this, his body trembled. Although he had never encountered such a thing, he had heard of some powerful experts who had reached a certain level of strength or had reached the limit of their lifespan. They would choose to reincarnate and cultivate again. This was not something impossible. If this was really the case, then it would be troublesome. These experts couldn't tolerate even a little bit of sand in their eyes, especially those who disrespected them. Experts had their dignity. Coincidentally, he had offended such a terrifying expert. It was still okay now, but if he grew up in the future, it would definitely be very terrifying. Thinking of this, the old man's heart had a hint of retreating. However, he knew that it was too late to regret. If he could get his forgiveness and get his promise, that would be the best. He took a step back. He looked at young Hongwu and said, "Young master, this old man admires your strength very much. May I know which venerable master you are under?" "Master?" Seeing the old man's reaction, Chiu Song was very confused. Of course, he was also very unhappy. Why did he stop and not kill this kid? As long as he could obtain this kid's cultivation technique, he could become the #1 genius of the Chiu clan. He could even become the #1 genius of Yanyan County, or even the #1 genius of Tsongshuan Empire. "Shut up." The old man glanced at Chiu Song and shouted in dissatisfaction. This kid was just a playboy who didn't know anything. If it wasn't for the fact that he could obtain some cultivation resources from the Chiu clan, he wouldn't have accepted this kid as his disciple. After all, Chiu Song's talent was really not that good. He didn't have the potential to become a true expert. "Master Yu." Chiu Song was very dissatisfied when he saw the old man reprimanding him. His face changed and said, "You dare to treat me like this? What do you know? This young master's strength is extraordinary and his background is great. You and I can't afford to offend him." After the old man reprimanded Chiu Song, he turned to young Hongwu and said, "Young master, please don't mind him. This kid is young and doesn't know anything. Please don't be offended." The old man's sudden change caused everyone to be dumbfounded, especially the people from Grey Cloud Town. Each and every one of them were dumbfounded. No matter how they thought about it, the old man who was arrogant and despotic, who had his eyes on the top of his head, who killed people like they were nothing, had actually become so polite. Could it be that Yang Hongwu really came from some super force? No wonder he didn't care about the entrance examination token of the sect of the Ether. Could it be that he was a disciple of the sect of the Ether? If that was the case, then Grey Cloud Town would be saved. Even the whole town would be riding on his coattails and get a big backer. "Of course I don't mind," Yang Hongwu said lightly. "Thank you for your generosity, young master. May I know which sect you are from?" Before the old man finished his words, he was interrupted by Yang Hongwu. "Because I never care about the thoughts of a dead person. I said that you all have to die and you must die. I, Yang Hongwu, always keep my words. If I say I will kill you all, I will definitely kill you all." After saying that, Yang Hongwu's aura increased again. The terrible murderous aura almost condensed into a solid body. Genuine qi condensed in his hands, which glowed. His body began to flicker at an incredible speed, like a ghost. Before the old man could react, Yang Hongwu's fist was like a mountain, heavily bombarding toward him. The murderous aura was surging as if it had 10,000 pounds of force. The old man hurriedly blocked and punched out with both fists, trying to block Yang Hongwu's terrible attack. However, it was all in vain. If the killing fist of all directions was so easy to deal with, it wouldn't be a killing fist art. Chapter 11:21. Kill them all, die, die, die. All of you die. Yang Hongwu's attack was extremely fierce. The old man blocked the attack, but his body suffered a huge blow. Seeing Yang Hongwu's continuous attacks, he knew that he was not his opponent and quickly dodged. He was very strong, so he could still dodge. However, Chiu Song was not as lucky as him. Under Yang Hongwu's fierce killing fist, he did not have the strength to resist at all. His chest was smashed open. Even before he died, he couldn't believe that he had been beaten to death in such an inconspicuous little town. You killed Chiu Song? The old man was stunned when he saw Chiu Song being killed. Chiu Song's strength and talent were average, but he was still the second young master of the Chiu family in Yanyan County and had a high status. His strength was almost enough to become a consecrator of the Chiu family, but he was very clear about the true strength of the Chiu family. As one of the top forces in Yanyan County, the Chiu family had a very strong foundation and terrifying strength. The Chiu family had many consecrators, and the weakest of them was in the Gangchi realm. The entire Chiu family had more than 10 experts in the Gangchi realm. Once they were mobilized, it was very scary. Although there was only a thin line between the Gang Chi realm and the true Chi realm, the strength of an expert in the Gang Chi realm was far from what a true Chi realm martial artist could compare to. The so-called Gang Chi realm was the condensation of Chi into Gang, which could form a Gang Chi shield. A true Chi realm martial artist would find it difficult to break through the defense of a Gang Chi realm martial artist. Therefore, when a Gang Chi realm martial artist fought with a true Chi realm martial artist, the true Chi realm martial artist had almost no chance of winning because they had no way of breaking through the defense of a Gang Chi realm martial artist. If they could not even break through the defense, how could they fight? Not to mention winning. However, he would definitely be implicated in Chiu Song's death. After all, Chiu Song's status was not low. As Chiu Song's master, he could not protect Chiu Song, which led to Chiu Song's death. If the Chiu family pursued the matter, he would definitely be implicated. Therefore, to him, Chiu Song's death was a huge problem. I said, all of you have to die. After Yang Hongwu killed Chiu Song, his eyes once again shot out a cold light. Wind gathered under his feet and he quickly attacked the old man. One punch after another. Murderous aura condensed around him, forming a terrifying illusory figure. It was the illusory figure of the killer god. The surging killing chi caused mysterious phenomena to appear. It was like they had fallen into an Azura hell. Ghosts wept and gods howled, filled with a cold chi. A dense death energy burst out. He could even smell the scent of death. In front of this terrifying fist energy, there was no chance of survival. There was no doubt that he would die. No, I won't die. I'm at the peak of the Zhen Qi realm, half a step into the Gang Qi realm. How can I die? The old man roared, and his aura actually increased by a lot. He erupted with a powerful force and dodged Yang Hongwu's attack. A person's potential was limitless, especially in the face of life and death. Although the old man was old and frail, he was very strong and had a tenacious will to live. Even Yang Hongwu was surprised. The old man was obviously weak, but he had not expected that he would still be able to burst out with such a powerful force and dodge Yang Hongwu's attack. But, so what? The gap between him and the old man was too big. Moreover, the old man's life force had already been exhausted. Unless there was a heavenly treasure that could increase his potential and increase his life force, it would be impossible for him to improve any further. If he could dodge his attack once, would he be able to dodge the next one? More importantly, Yang Hongwu hadn't used his true killing move. Even though the all-directional fist was very powerful, he had only used the pure killing fist. He hadn't integrated the Spirit Refining Heart Sutra into it. That was his spiritual force and soul attack. He hadn't integrated them into his attack. In this mortal continent, although he could not cultivate the Nine Heavens Divine Dragon technique, he could still use the refined Spirit Heart Sutra. Yang Hongwu's 10-direction killing fist was very powerful. Even compared to the founder of the 10-direction killing fist, Bai Qi, it might not be comparable to Yang Hongwu. This was because Yang Hongwu had integrated the refined Spirit Heart Sutra into the 10-direction killing fist, which made the 10-direction killing fist even more terrifying and powerful. Your strength is not bad. But, if it's only like this, then it's over. Yang Hongwu coldly snorted. He activated the refined Spirit Heart Sutra and integrated his mental power into the 10-direction killing fist. The originally terrifying killing fist became even more terrifying. Silently, the old man entered a huge illusion. Mountains of corpses, seas of bones, rivers of blood, layers of hell and evil spirits. The countless warriors he had killed had all turned into evil spirits that wanted to devour him alive. Ah! The old man let out a miserable scream. His mental power could not withstand the terrifying pressure. At this time, Yang Hongwu's fist heavily bombarded his body. The old man's body let out a crisp sound of bones breaking. His whole body was like a piece of dry wood. His body flew out and hit a big tree. Puff! The old man spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were starting to lose their vitality. He looked at Yang Hongwu. His eyes were filled with unwillingness and regret. What a terrifying mental power attack. I have lost. I admit defeat. You are the most outstanding and terrifying genius I have ever seen. However, you killed Qiu Song. The Qiu family will not let you off. After saying that, the old man's body straightened. His legs kicked and he died. He died with his eyes wide open. As for the others, when they saw this scene, they all scattered in all directions. Yang Hongwu said to Lin Yong, "Big brother Lin, kill all of them. Leave no one alive." Yes. Lin Yong was also a sensible person. Although it was a little cruel to kill all the people that Qiu Song had brought, these people had lost their will to fight. They were all scared out of their wits. However, if they were not killed, it would be more troublesome. If they were not killed, once the news of Qiu Song's death reached the Qiu family, Grey Cloud Town would be in trouble again. Although Yang Hongwu's strength was formidable, he couldn't always protect Grey Cloud Town, right? He was like a divine dragon from the ninth heaven. He would leave sooner or later. This Grey Cloud Town was not even a shallow beach. It was not even comparable to a small pond. How could it keep a true dragon like him? Of course, if they killed these people, the Qiu family would know about it sooner or later. However, this way they could delay the time. At least, they could prepare. At the very least, they could move the people of Grey Cloud Town out. Or at least, they could keep the younger generation and leave hope for Grey Cloud Town. Chapter 11:22. Revolt. After dealing with the battlefield, Yang Hongwu and Lin Yong gathered together. "Xiao Wu, what should we do now? The Qiu family's people have all died here. They will never let this go. We must be prepared." Lin Yong looked at Yang Hongwu and said, "What do you mean? This incident was caused by Yang Hongwu alone. He killed all of them. Of course, he should go to the Qiu family and admit his guilt." At this time, a man with a sharp mouth and monkey-like chin said. Yang Hongwu frowned. This guy was the son of an elder in Grey Cloud Town. He was not well-liked. This guy had once coveted the assessment token of the sect of the Ether. "Duzhong, what do you mean? If it wasn't for Xiao Wu, the people of Grey Cloud Town would have probably all died. He is the savior of the entire Grey Cloud Town. For you to say such words at this time, you are repaying kindness with enmity. Do you know that?" When Lin Yong heard those words, he was extremely angry and he angrily berated Xiao Wu. "What savior? That's simply nonsense. Our Grey Cloud Town has always been peaceful. Ever since this kid came, so many things have happened in our Grey Cloud Town. Who knows, maybe this series of events in Grey Cloud Town was caused by him. If it wasn't for his appearance, so many things wouldn't have happened in Grey Cloud Town, and so many of our brothers wouldn't have died. Therefore, he is the main culprit." Du Zhong shouted. "Shut up," Lin Yong said. "Am I right? You are still defending him. If it wasn't for him, Sixth Uncle wouldn't have died." Du Zhong said coldly. "Sixth Uncle was killed because he didn't want to talk about him. Men, kick him out." Lin Yong was furious and shouted. "Who dares? This is Grey Cloud Town. You are just a guard. Grey Cloud Town belongs to the Du family. You Lin family are just servants. What right do you have to kick me out?" Du Zhong said loudly, "Uncles, this is Grey Cloud Town, and Grey Cloud Town belongs to our Du family. The Lin family is merely a servant of our Du family. Now that Lin Yong is here, looking down on our Du family, are you not going to say anything?" "That's right. All these years, the Lin family has been too impudent," an old man said. The others nodded in agreement. "Moreover, that brat is an outsider, yet he cheated Sixth Uncle's trust and stole our Du family's dark cloud skill. We must make him hand it over." Du Zhong saw everyone's reaction and was overjoyed in his heart as he loudly said. The few elders from the Du family nodded their heads and looked at Yang Hongwu. "Yang Hongwu, the azure cloud art that you cultivate, as well as the Azure Cloud Sword technique, are our Du family's secret technique. You must hand over the secret techniques that you cultivate and cripple your own cultivation, a white-bearded old man said. This old man was the Du family's great elder and was the most respected person in the Du family. Great elder, don't you know what kind of person Du Zhong is and what kind of person he is? You can't be muddle-headed at this time. Lin Yong's face changed and he loudly said. Although he felt uncomfortable when he heard the Du family's words that the Lin family was just a servant, he still had to consider the big picture at this time. The matter between the Du family and the Lin family could be put aside. However, he absolutely could not offend Yang Hongwu. If the great elder listened to Du Zhong's instigation, it would definitely cause a big problem. Yang Hongwu's strength was obvious to all, and it was not because he had obtained the Du clan's cultivation method, nor was it because of the Blue Cloud's secret art, it was because he had a strong cultivation base. Moreover, how could a person with such terrifying strength at such a young age be an ordinary person? He was definitely a super genius cultivated by a powerful force. Perhaps only a powerful force like the sect of the Ether could cultivate such a monstrous genius. If they offended him, the consequences would be unimaginable. Shut up. You are an outsider and a servant. How dare you talk to the great elder like this? Du Zhong angrily pointed at Lin Yong and said, You are the one who wants to shut up. Do you believe that I will kill you? Lin Yong's eyes shot out a ray of cold light. In this place, Lin Yong's strength was absolutely powerful. Except for a few elders, no one was stronger than him. And these elders were all pampered. How could their combat experience and fighting strength be compared to Lin Yong? Great elder, look, Lin Yong actually threatened to kill me? He is just a servant and he dares to offend his superiors. I think the Lin family has long wanted to replace our Du family. Du Zhong shouted loudly. Lin Yong, don't go too far. The Lin family is not in the position to make decisions in the Azure Cloud Town. The great elder's face darkened and he said coldly. Lin Yong stopped talking after hearing that. On the other hand, Yang Hongwu sneered at the side. These old fellows didn't appear at the most crucial moment in Grey Cloud Town. But now, all of them appeared one after another. Their actions caused Yang Hongwu to feel extreme disdain. You want my cultivation technique? You want to hand me over to the Chiu family as an apology? Yang Hongwu's tone was light and indifferent. In Yang Hongwu's eyes, these people were like chickens and dogs. They were not worth mentioning. If it wasn't for Du Yun and Lin Yong's face, Yang Hongwu would not even care about them. Yang Hongwu, you better obediently surrender and hand over your things. If you do that, you might be able to avoid death. Du Zhong heard Yang Hongwu's words and thought that Yang Hongwu had given in. His tone became even more arrogant. Lin Yong and the others looked at him as if they were looking at a fool. Only Lin Yong knew that Yang Hongwu's strength was so strong. The reason why he did not bother with them was because of Du Yun. Yang Hongwu was such a genius, such an expert, why would he care about Du Zhong? Why would he care about a mere Azure Cloud Town and a mere Du family? He did not even care about the Chiu family. Once they angered Yang Hongwu, the Du family's ending would not be any better than Chiu Song and the others. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you? Yang Hongwu said indifferently. A terrifying murderous aura burst out. Some people could not withstand Yang Hongwu's murderous aura and their faces turned pale. At this moment, the murderous aura that Yang Hongwu released was only a small part. But just this much was enough to make many people lose their fighting strength. Chapter 11:23. Death Servant Puppet Little Wu. Seeing Yang Hongwu's murderous look, as if he wanted to kill Du Zhong, Lin Yong couldn't bear it. He is Du Yun's nephew after all. I will give Big Brother Du face and not kill you. However, if you continue to provoke me, don't blame me for being impolite. I will kill you even in front of Big Brother Du, Yang Hongwu said as he retracted his murderous aura. He looked at the great elder and said coldly, I will not care about Grey Cloud Town anymore. Don't provoke me. Otherwise, I will really kill. I will kill a lot of people. You. The great elder was furious. He was trembling and his beard was sticking up. This is Grey Cloud Town. You are just an outsider. How dare you be so arrogant? You are too presumptuous. Moreover, you are the one who provoked the Chiu family. If we do not hand you over, no one in Grey Cloud Town will be able to survive. Therefore, no matter what, you cannot leave. You must give us an explanation. You must give the Chiu family an explanation. You want an explanation? All right, I will give you an explanation. Yang Hongwu was furious. This old thing was so muddle-headed. He had let them go, but they still did not let him go. Did they really think that he would not kill them? Yang Hongwu was an Emperor Realm expert. Although his cultivation had not recovered, Yang Hongwu's prestige was still there. Moreover, Yang Hongwu was now recultivating. It would be easier for him to return to his peak. It could be said that he would not encounter any bottlenecks in his cultivation. However, in order to break through to a higher level, he needed to build a solid foundation. Otherwise, he only needed to find enough spiritual energy and cultivate crazily. His strength would increase by leaps and bounds. Not long after, he would be able to stand at the Emperor Realm again. However, in that case, his foundation would seem weak. It might even be worse than his previous foundation. In that case, it would be almost impossible for him to break through to a higher level. It might even be a huge problem for him to break through to the primordial true God realm. If he were to build a solid foundation and cultivate step by step, it wouldn't be difficult for him to break through the realm of Tai Real God. Even breaking through the shackles and reaching the level above Tai Real God wouldn't be too difficult. No matter what, he was still a powerhouse, and the dignity of a powerhouse could not be blasphemed. This old man was taking advantage of his seniority. Once was fine, but he kept pestering him. How could Yang Hongwu give him face? Originally, Yang Hongwu didn't want to attack the people of Grey Cloud Town and the Du family because of Du Yun. After all, Du Yun had saved his life. If it wasn't for Du Yun, Yang Hongwu didn't know what kind of situation he would be in. However, these fellows actually didn't know what was good for them. Did they really think that he was afraid of them? Yang Hongwu didn't even put the sect of the ether in his eyes, let alone the Grey Cloud Town and the Chiu family. The sect of the ether was just a sect. Yang Hongwu guessed that the sect of the ether was probably equivalent to the four great immortal mansion in ancient region. Of course, it might be stronger, but it definitely couldn't be compared to the four great immortal mansion in Jiotian City. What? You want to fight? The great elder said. Yang Hongwu, you underestimate our Grey Cloud Town and our Du family too much. When the great elder saw a group of people coming from afar, his face regained its color and his confidence rose. Yang Hongwu squinted his eyes. Of course, Yang Hongwu had noticed the arrival of these people. These people didn't seem to have any vitality, as if they were dead. However, their aura was very strong. Moreover, these people were all wearing black clothes and wrapped themselves tightly. This made Yang Hongwu even more suspicious. Although he didn't have Mao Er's delusion breaker eye, Yang Hongwu's mental strength was very strong. It wasn't difficult for him to cultivate an eye technique. However, Yang Hongwu didn't have enough time to cultivate an eye technique. Even so, Yang Hongwu could see that these people weren't living people. Puppets? They were puppets. Unexpectedly, the Grey Cloud Town's Du family really had a trump card. Is this the legendary death servant puppet of the Du family? Lin Yong's face changed and exclaimed. Yes, this is our Du family's biggest trump card, the death servant puppet of the Du family. These death servant puppets are very strong. When they were alive, they were all true Qi realm experts. After being refined into death servant puppets, their strength became even stronger. They are not afraid of death, invulnerable to swords and spears, indestructible and indestructible. Little brat, if you hand over the things, I can spare your life, and even let you become a member of the Du family. However, if you are stubborn, I will let the death servant puppet kill you. Your body is extraordinary and your talent is extraordinary. If you are refined into a death servant puppet, perhaps our Du family will have a heaven rank puppet or even a divine rank puppet. The great elder said. Great elder, why bother talking to him? His talent is extremely high. If he is refined into a death servant puppet, perhaps he can become the first divine rank puppet that can grow. At that time, our Du family will truly rise and regain our former glory, becoming the king family of the common people's continent. Du Zhong said loudly. Little Wu, be careful. The strength of these puppets is very terrifying. They are comparable to true Qi realm experts. At this time, Lin Yong said to Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu looked at these puppets and sneered in his heart. They were just puppets. What kind of situation had he not seen before? These puppets were very rough and were not worth mentioning in front of him. Big brother Lin, you don't have to worry. I don't put these puppets in my eyes. Even if there are 10 times more of them, I am not afraid. Such big words. You really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Hearing Yang Hongwu's words, the great elder said aloud. In his view, the death servant was an invincible existence. Unless there was an expert at the peak of the Orochi realm, otherwise, there was no way to resist the attacks of these death servant. Although a true Qi realm expert could resist the attack of 1 or 2 death servant puppets, it was absolutely impossible to resist the attack of so many death servant puppets. As for Yang Hongwu, he was only at the true energy realm. No matter how strong or how heaven-defying a true energy realm martial artist was, it was impossible for him to be mentioned in the same breath as a true Orochi realm martial artist. Therefore, he did not take Yang Hongwu's arrogant words to heart. Chapter 11:24. Reason. Looking at the Deadpool puppet rushing up, Yang Hongwu didn't put it in his eyes at all. His figure flashed and pointed at one of the puppets. A burst of qi burst out and instantly pierced through the puppet's forehead. The puppet could not move at all. Then Yang Hongwu sped up and those puppets were pierced through by Yang Hongwu. No matter what the great elder did, there was no way to move them. Impossible, this is impossible. Everyone present was dumbfounded. They never thought that the infamous puppets would be defeated so easily. One must know that these puppets were not afraid of death. But now they were defeated so easily. How could they not be shocked? Especially the people from the Du family. They could not believe that even the great elder himself could not get rid of the puppets so easily. The puppets were invulnerable and there was no way to destroy them. But in front of Yang Hongwu they were like ants. They could not withstand a single blow. His strength had actually become so terrifying? Du Zhong was terrified. This kid's strength was so terrifying. He was so powerful. Was he pretending before? Was he hiding his cultivation level? This kid was too cunning. At this time, Du Zhong was terrified to the extreme. He was afraid of death. He was afraid that Yang Hongwu would attack him. He was afraid that he would be killed. So, at this time, when he saw those powerful puppets being destroyed by Yang Hongwu, he was ready to escape. But, would Yang Hongwu let him go? The answer was yes. How could Yang Hongwu let them go so easily? So, when he escaped, Yang Hongwu instantly took action. Like a gust of wind, he flashed in front of Du Zhong and blocked him. Weren't you very arrogant just now? Didn't you threaten to kill me? Why are you in such a hurry to leave now? Yang Hongwu said coldly. No, big brother Yang, hero Yang, that's not what I meant. I was just joking with you. What I said just now was really just a joke. You see, you're the savior of the entire Grey Cloud Town. How could I repay your kindness with enmity? This was all that old bastard's idea. He was the one who threatened me. Also, I am Du Yun's nephew. For the sake of my uncle, can you spare me this time? I won't do it again. Du Zhong was so scared that he peed his pants. He kept begging for mercy. Really? But that's not what I just heard. Yang Hongwu looked at him and said, however, no matter what you say, it's useless. I gave you a chance before, but you didn't cherish it. Now you want me to spare your life. That's impossible, but I can give you a quick death. Uncle Lin, save me, you have to save me. Du Zhong saw Lin Yong coming over. He shouted loudly and begged for mercy. Xiao Wu, he is the closest person to Du Yun. What do you think? No. Yang Hongwu said, Big Brother Lin, you don't have to beg me. I've already given him a chance. Moreover, I'm afraid that even if Big Brother Du was still alive, he wouldn't spare him. In fact, Big Brother Du's death is related to him. It can even be said that he caused it. What? How is that possible? Lin Yong couldn't believe it. You'll know when you hear it. Yang Hongwu turned to look at Du Zhong and said coldly, Tell me everything you've done. Tell me and I'll give you a quick death. Saying that, Yang Hongwu pointed a finger at Du Zhong's body. At this moment Du Zhong screamed. That voice was like a ghost's wailing and howling. It was so heart-wrenching that his entire face was contorted. That terrifying pain was simply not something that Du Zhong could endure. This was the secret skill that Yang Hongwu used. Genuine qi entered Du Zhong's body and constantly stimulated his nerve. It was similar to the muscle and bone dislocation hand. However, it was more terrible than the muscle and bone dislocation hand. It made people beg for death. I'll tell you. Spare me, spare me. Du Zhong couldn't bear it and shouted loudly. Okay, tell me. Yang Hongwu pointed at Du Zhong's body. Du Zhong recovered, but his face was pale. If you don't tell me the truth, you know the consequences. Yang Hongwu said coldly when he saw Du Zhong's eyes were rolling. I told the Chiu family that the Du family had the qualification token for the entrance examination of the sect of the Ether in Grey Cloud Town. The reason why the Chiu family came to Grey Cloud Town was because of me. The Chiu family also used the animal taming talisman. Du Zhong said, What? It's you? Did you really do all this? Tell me it's not true. Lin Yong's face changed when he heard it. He couldn't believe it at all. Some of the other elders of the Du family also changed their faces when they heard it. They couldn't believe it was the truth. It's true. I did all this. But it's all worth it. As long as I give the qualification token for the entrance examination of the sect of the Ether to the Chiu family, I will become a member of the Chiu family. I will be valued by the Chiu family and I will get countless resources. I will become a genius and a person above everyone else. I don't want to stay in this small gray cloud town forever. I want to be outstanding. I want to become a strong person in the Tsongshan continent. The qualification token for the entrance examination of the sect of the Ether is my only chance. Du Zhong said loudly. At first, I didn't want it. I asked Du Yun that the token was in his hands. I asked him for it. I wanted to go to the sect of the Ether to take the entrance examination. But that old man said that I had bad intentions and that I was not talented enough. It was a waste to give the token to me. He looked down on me. I was the only person close to him. How could he not give it to me? More importantly, that old man wanted to give such a precious thing to an outsider. An outsider who is not even a citizen of the Grey Cloud Town? At this time, Du Zhong became hysterical. He roared crazily and his face was distorted. So I want him to die. He is dead. He is completely dead. Originally, I would become the patriarch of the Du family and a disciple of the Chiu family. I would get countless resources and countless beauties and wealth. But because of you, everything is ruined. The second young master of the Chiu family died here. The Chiu family will not let this go. You have ruined everything for me and ruined my future. Du Yun roared, It's all because of you. Shut up, you bastard. Lin Yong was furious and slapped Du Zhong's face. How could you do this? How could you be so crazy? You betrayed the whole family and the whole Grey Cloud Town for the entrance examination. Are you still a human? Chapter 11:25. The Power of the Immortal God Talisman. Did you inform the Chiu family? Lin Yong's face darkened. Do you know the consequences of this? How could you be so crazy? Don't worry, I don't care about the Chiu family, Yang Hongwu lightly said, and then shot out a palm, hitting Du Zhong's head. True qi gushed out, instantly destroying Du Zhong's brain, and Du Zhong immediately died. Du Zhong's eyes widened. He never thought that Yang Hongwu would really kill him. What about you guys? Yang Hongwu looked at the Great Elder and the others and said coldly, shouldn't you give me an explanation now? Yang Hongwu did not have a good impression of these old things. Each of them was about to die, but they still held on to their authority and wanted to fight for resources for their own cultivation. These old things had consumed a lot of elixirs in order to extend their lifespans. Yang Hongwu could see that. If these resources were used on the talented people of the younger generation, their strength would have increased a long time ago. Many of them could even surpass these old antiques. Unfortunately, these old guys were short-sighted. They were reluctant to give up their resources. They were even worried that their position would be taken away. Therefore, they did not give too many resources to the younger generation. What's more, they would suppress those young people who were especially talented, especially those who were not from the Du family. Grey Cloud Town was actually a good place. It relied on the Grey Cloud mountain range to form a dragon. It should be able to nurture many geniuses. Unfortunately, it was suppressed. Explanation? What kind of explanation do you want me to give you? The Great Elder's face was ugly. However, he knew that Yang Hongwu was not to be trifled with. His trump card was broken by Yang Hongwu. Moreover, he killed Du Zhong without hesitation, let alone them. Yang Hongwu was an outsider after all. He would not let him off just because he was an elder of the Du family. What do you think? Yang Hongwu said coldly. If you can't remember, I can give you some memories. Looking at Yang Hongwu's threatening eyes, the Great Elder said, what do you want me to do? If all of you cripple your own cultivation, I will consider letting the Du family go, Yang Hongwu said. Are you biting the hand that feeds you? Back then, Du Yun saved your life. Is this how you repay him? A middle-aged man said. Big Brother Du has done me a favor, I will remember this in my heart, I will naturally not forget it. But that is Big Brother Du's favor to me, not yours. Yang Hongwu said coldly. These guys were shameless. Du Yun's death had a lot to do with them. They had the strength to stop Chiu Song and save Du Yun's life, but they didn't. They just watched Du Yun get killed. Therefore, Yang Hongwu wouldn't give them any face. Du Yun is a member of my Du family. If you attack us, won't you be biting the hand that feeds you? The Great Elder said loudly. Since you have such a glib tongue, I won't let you off. If you don't attack, I'll do it myself. Let me tell you, if I attack, it won't be as simple as just crippling your cultivation base. Yang Hongwu's killing intent erupted as he spoke. The surrounding air seemed to have solidified. Wait. Seeing that Yang Hongwu was about to attack, the Great Elder hurriedly stopped him. If you let us off, I can give you a treasure. I think it should be something you want, it should be of great use to you. Do you think there's anything in this Grey Cloud Town that I'm interested in? These death puppets are your Du family's greatest trump card. Now, these death puppets can't even withstand a single blow from me. Do you think I would be interested in ordinary things? Yang Hongwu sneered. I swear, that thing will definitely be of help to you. That is our Du family's greatest trump card. The Great Elder swore. Big Brother Lin, what do you think? Yang Hongwu looked at Lin Yong. This I don't know. Lin Yong shook his head. He doesn't know. He is not a member of my Du family. Moreover, this secret is only known to the Du family's patriarch and Great Elder. The Great Elder said. Fine, I will believe you this time. Yang Hongwu said. Hand over the thing. The thing is in my Du family's forbidden area. I have no way of taking it out. The Great Elder said, shaking his head. Forbidden area? Lin Yong and the others' faces changed. Seeing Lin Yong's expression, Yang Hongwu's eyes narrowed. This forbidden area was definitely not simple. However, Yang Hongwu could guess a thing or two. In fact, Yang Hongwu had his reasons for forcing the Du family. Otherwise, for Du Yun's sake, even if the Du family was like this, he would still give Du Yun some face. However, now that Du Yun was dead, and the Du family treated him like this, Yang Hongwu was very angry. It was because of these death puppets that Yang Hongwu could feel the aura of the immortal god talisman from these death puppets. Although the aura of the immortal god talisman was very weak, Yang Hongwu could still feel it. These death puppets were definitely related to the immortal god talisman. In other words, the reason why these death puppets could be refined was because of the immortal god talisman. Yang Hongwu had cultivated the devouring art, the devouring real body, and the power of the immortal god talisman. Of course, he could sense it clearly. Moreover, the cultivation of the devouring real body required the power of the immortal god talisman to be successful. The reason why Yang Hongwu could kill those death puppets so easily was because Yang Hongwu had seen countless powerful puppets. He could also create them himself. Another reason was that these puppets had traces of the immortal god talisman's power. As long as these traces of power were devoured, these death puppets would naturally lose their power and become useless corpses. What's wrong, Brother Lin? Is there anything bad in the forbidden area? Yang Hongwu asked. The forbidden area is very scary. In the past, there was a supreme expert who was incomparably strong. I don't know what realm he was at. In short, his strength was even stronger than a Gangqi realm expert. He entered the forbidden area and never came out again. In order to enter the forbidden area, one must have the bloodline of the Du family. If one does not have the bloodline of the Du family, once one enters the forbidden area, death is the only way. Moreover, even the people of the Du family are not allowed to enter the forbidden area. Lin Yong said. So, little Wu, you must not enter the forbidden area. Chapter 11:26. Forbidden area, anyway, I'm just telling him. It's up to him whether he wants to go or not. The great elder said. As for killing him? I don't have such thoughts. The first elder's words caused Yang Hongwu to snort disdainfully. The first elder wanted him dead. This was something that everyone knew. There was no need for him to say more. However, this was his own business. He had to go and take a look at the forbidden area. Bring me there. Yang Hongwu said to the great elder. Look, I didn't ask him to go. He wants to go himself. The great elder smiled when he heard this. This kid was dead for sure. Everyone knew what would happen to an outsider who entered the forbidden area. For thousands of years, countless people had entered the forbidden area. There were even some super experts among them. However, none of them had ever come out of the forbidden area. Even the people from the Du family were only at the periphery. This time, if it weren't for this, he wouldn't have taken the risk to let people enter the forbidden area and bring these puppets out. But what he didn't expect was that these puppets were all taken care of by Yang Hongwu. Little Wu, you have to think twice. That forbidden area is extremely frightening. Even those with the Du family bloodline will have a 90% chance of survival if they enter. As for outsiders, they will have no chance of survival at all. Seeing Yang Hongwu's reaction, Lin Yong hurriedly tried to stop him. Big brother Lin, you don't have to persuade me anymore. I must enter the forbidden area. Don't stop me. I know the danger inside. The great elder wants me to die inside. However, I have enough confidence. I, Yang Hongwu, will never fight a battle that I'm not confident in. Entering the forbidden area may be a great danger for others. However, it's a great opportunity for me. Yang Hongwu said. Do you know why I'm here? In fact, it's because I felt that my opportunity is here. However, I didn't expect that there would be an accident on the way. That's why I fainted in the Green Cloud mountain range. At that time, I thought that I would die in the Green Cloud mountain range. I didn't expect that Big Brother Dew would save me. This is also my opportunity. Unfortunately, Big Brother Dew was killed by a villain. How about this, little Wu? If you insist on entering the forbidden area, I'll go with you. Lin Yong said. There's no need for that. If I enter the forbidden area, I have the confidence to survive. However, if you go, I don't have the confidence to protect you. Yang Hongwu shook his head. He was grateful for Lin Yong's advice. Don't worry. The Lin clan also has the blood of the Du clan, although it's a little thin. Lin Yong said. Moreover, I also want to see what the forbidden area of the Green Cloud Town is like. For so many years, I've always wanted to go in and take a look. However, because of fear, I've never been able to enter. This time, I can finally fulfill my wish. Even if I die inside, I'm willing to do so. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Yong's aura began to change. His aura began to rise. He broke through. He actually broke through at this moment and reached the true Qi realm. He had been stuck at the 9th level of the Qi realm for a long time without any progress. Who would have thought that he would break through and reach the true Qi realm after he figured out this matter? Haha, this feels great, Lin Yong roared. He punched out and a tree in the distance fell to the ground. Big Brother Lin, you've finally broken through. The Green Cloud Town guards were happy to see Lin Yong break through. Their Grey Cloud Town's Grey Cloud Protector finally had a true Qi realm expert. How could they not be happy? Yes, I've finally broken through. So it was because of my state of mind. The fear in my heart prevented me from breaking through. Now that I've gotten rid of the fear in my heart, there's nothing that can stop me. This is the will of the heavens. The heavens have allowed me to enter the forbidden area with you, Lin Yong said to Yang Hongwu. Originally, when the elders of the Du family saw that Lin Yong had broken through to the true energy realm, they all had ugly expressions on their faces. However, when they heard that Lin Yong wanted to enter the forbidden area with Yang Hongwu, they no longer looked worried. If Lin Yong wanted to enter the forbidden area, it would be suicide. As the servants and guards of the Du family, although the Lin family also had a trace of the Du family's bloodline, it was a thin bloodline after all. It was only the bloodline left behind by the Lin family's ancestor and a side branch of the Du family. That little bit of bloodline power was almost negligible. Therefore, after Lin Yong entered the forbidden area, there was not much chance of him surviving. Big Brother Lin, you still want to enter the forbidden area? It's too dangerous. Yes, Big Brother Lin. Now that you've broken through to the true Qi realm, you have a bright future ahead of you. You can enter the Iron Blood Guards and become one of their members. You can obtain countless resources and have a bright future ahead of you. But if you enter the forbidden area, your future is uncertain. No need to say more. Lin Yong interrupted him and said, Little Ku, if Little Wu and I are unable to come out after entering the forbidden area, then the Grey Cloud Town's Grey Cloud Guards will be led by you. You will be the captain of the Grey Cloud Guards. Do you know? You have to shoulder the responsibility of protecting the Grey Cloud Town. Lin Yong patted Lin Ku's shoulder and looked up at Yang Hongwu. Little Wu, let's go. I'll accompany you. Not now. The Great Elder suddenly said, If you want to enter the forbidden area, you have to wait until tomorrow. It's already too late today, so there's no way to open it. That's fine. We can prepare well today. Lin Yong thought for a moment and said. Yang Hongwu did not say much. He knew that they were worried about the Qiu family's revenge. The Qiu family was a big family in the Yenyun County. They had as many strong cultivators as there were clouds in the sky. If the Qiu family came and could not find him, then they would probably attack the Du family. At that time, the Du family would have no way to resist. So they wanted to wait for the Qiu family to come first. Lin Yong was also a little selfish. Yang Hongwu did not care about this. After all, Lin Yong was also a citizen of Grey Cloud Town. He did not want to see the people of Grey Cloud Town suffer. This was human nature. After all, he was just an outsider. Okay, then we'll wait for one night. Yang Hongwu did not expose him and nodded in agreement. At night, Yang Hongwu was cultivating in his room. Outside the door, Lin Yong knocked. "Little Wu, can I come in?" "Come in, big brother Lin." Yang Hongwu responded. Lin Yong entered the room and took out a jar of wine. He also ordered the servants to bring some good dishes. "Little Wu, let's drink?" Chapter 11:27. The fifth master of the Chiu clan. After drinking a few cups, Lin Yong said, "Xiao Wu, actually, I'm sorry." "Why do you say that, brother Lin?" Yang Hongwu drank a cup of wine and put it down. He looked at Lin Yong and did not interrupt him. Instead, he waited for him to continue. "In fact, there are no restrictions on opening the forbidden area. You can go in even tonight," Lin Yong said. "The reason why we have to wait until tomorrow is because I'm worried that the Chiu clan will attack the people of Grey Cloud Town if they can't find you." "Is that it?" "Actually, I already know," Yang Hongwu said. "This is human nature. I understand. However, Xiao Wu, don't worry. I'll give you an explanation. If the Chiu clan comes, I'll help you fend them off. You can enter the forbidden area first." Lin Yong took a big gulp of wine and exhaled a mouthful of wine. He looked at Yang Hongwu and said, "No need. I also want to see the strength of a martial artist in the Gangchi realm." Yang Hongwu smiled and said, "I've said before that I don't care about the Chiu clan. For me, not to mention the Chiu clan, I don't even care about the entire sect of the Ether. However, I'll go to the sect of the Ether." "I know. Xiao Wu, you're a real dragon. This Grey Cloud Town and even the sect of the Ether are just a small pond. They can't keep a real dragon like you," Lin Yong said with emotion. "You know, when I first saw you, I could tell that you're not an ordinary person. There's a kind of temperament in you. It's the temperament of an expert. I've never seen such a temperament. It's an innate temperament. It's high and mighty." "Brother Lin, you flatter me," Yang Hongwu said. "Xiao Wu, have a good rest, I won't disturb you. After all, there is a battle tomorrow, and you have to go to the forbidden area. That place is full of danger, so you need to conserve your energy. Don't worry about this wine, it's not ordinary wine, it's specially brewed by me. I picked the best spiritual fruits to brew it, and it's of great help to practitioners. However, your cultivation is too strong, so perhaps it won't have much of an effect." After speaking, Lin Yong pushed open the door and staggered out. The next day, Yang Hongwu woke up early. After cultivating in the courtyard for a while, he heard a burst of noise. At this moment, the door to the courtyard was pushed open and a grey cloud guard rushed in. "Not good, young Master Yang, the Chiu family's people are here. They have a lot of people. Big Brother Lin is already fighting with their people. Big Brother Lin is not their opponent at all. You must quickly go and save him," the guard said. "Okay, take me there," Yang Hongwu said. Not long after, Yang Hongwu arrived at the entrance of Grey Cloud Town. He saw that Lin Yong was already covered in wounds and blood. His opponent was a middle-aged man who was very strong. He held a green saber in his hand, and on the saber, there were drops of blood dripping down. "Speak, where is my family's second young master now?" the man said. "If you don't speak, I will slaughter your town. I've said it before, I've never seen the second young master of the Chiu family. This is only a remote town. The person that Milord is looking for is the second young master of the Chiu family. How could he possibly come to such an inconspicuous little town?" Lin Yong said. "Furthermore, Milord should be clear about the strength of our Grey Cloud Town. No one can defeat the Chiu family's second young master, right?" "That's true. Although Song Er's strength is not good, but there are still experts by his side. Although they are not elders of the Gangchi realm, their strength is not ordinary. In this small Grey Cloud Town, there is absolutely no one who can defeat him," a well-dressed man said. This person's temperament was far from what others could compare to. It seemed that he was a high-ranking member of the Chiu family. However, Song has indeed been here. His aura has disappeared here. There's no way to deny this. Although you can't kill Song and the others directly, this is your territory. Who knows what kind of schemes you've used? If you don't see Song your entire Grey Cloud Town will die. I don't have much patience to talk to you here. The well-dressed man was the Chiu family's fifth master. His name was Chiu Lin. He was a powerful figure in the Chiu family, and his strength was also very strong. This time, when Chiu Song was in trouble, he was very angry. Chiu Song was his favorite. Although his talent was not very good, he was deeply liked. He was even more concerned about Chiu Song than Chiu Song's father, who was his elder brother, Chiu Long. It was enough to show Chiu Song's position in his heart. Therefore, this time, he hurriedly rushed over. Destroy Grey Cloud Town. What a big tone. Chiu Song said the same thing before. Unfortunately, he did not have the ability to do so. He died with his eyes wide open. Yang Hongwu walked out and supported Lin Yong. He handed him a pill. Brother Lin, this pill will help you recover. Little Wu, what are you doing here? Go to the forbidden area. Lin Yong pushed Yang Hongwu away and said, Don't worry. It's just a group of clowns. I don't put them in my eyes. Yang Hongwu did not put Chiu Lin and the others in his eyes. Among the people from the Chiu family, the strongest one was the well-dressed man in front of him. His strength had reached the 7th level of the Gangqi realm. So far, he was the strongest person that Yang Hongwu had seen in the Tsangshan continent. Boy, what did you say? Song is dead? That's right. Chiu Song, that little bastard, is dead. I killed him with my own hands. You want revenge? Sure. Come, let me see the strength of the Chiu family in the Yanyun County. Yang Hongwu turned around and looked at them. His tone was contemptuous, however. I'm afraid you can't do it alone. Come together. Otherwise, it will be boring. Fifth Master, let me kill him. A guard beside Chiu Lin heard Yang Hongwu's words and was furious. Don't kill him. I want him alive. Chiu Lin said coldly. Yes, Fifth Master. The guard was overjoyed. He unsheathed his long sword instantly. His body was like a vigorous leopard. He stared at Yang Hongwu like a sharp sword, as if he wanted to pierce through Yang Hongwu. His aura locked onto Yang Hongwu. Boy, you are so arrogant. A mere martial artist of the first level of the Zhenqi realm dares to be so presumptuous. You don't know how to write the word death. I'll give you a chance to attack first. Otherwise, you won't even have the chance to attack. You want me to attack? I'm afraid that when I attack, your life will be gone. With that, a long sword appeared in Yang Hongwu's hand. It was an ordinary long sword. With a wave of his hand, a sword light pierced towards the guard's forehead at lightning speed. Chapter 11:28. The reappearance of swordplay. What a fast sword technique. As his voice fell, his body also fell backwards. One sword. With just one sword, a warrior at the peak of the true Qi realm died just like that. What a terrifying sword technique. Chiu Lin narrowed his eyes when he saw the sword technique. He didn't care much about the guard's death. What he cared about now was the sword technique. The Yang Hongwu in front of him was only a martial artist at the first level of the true energy realm, but this sword technique was actually so powerful when executed by him. If his cultivation was not strong enough to reach the 7th level of the Gangqi realm, far surpassing Yang Hongwu, he would not have been able to see clearly what was going on. That sword was simply incomparably profound and contained the supreme truth of heaven and earth. It was a supreme sword technique. It was definitely not an ordinary sword technique. Of course, the youth in front of him was no ordinary person. His understanding of swordsmanship was simply too shocking. He was not like Chiu Song, who thought that he was invincible after obtaining this sword technique. The sword technique was mysterious, but it was not something that an ordinary person could comprehend. If one's aptitude was not good, there was no way to comprehend the exquisiteness of the sword technique. Obviously, the youth in front of him had already comprehended the sword technique to an extremely profound level. Most likely, this young man had been practicing this sword technique for countless years. Of course, even if he had been practicing this sword technique since he was young, the fact that he was able to comprehend it to such an extent at such a young age was enough to prove that his talent in sword techniques was astonishing and extremely terrifying. Even Qiu Lin himself felt ashamed of himself. This was a young genius, a monstrous young genius. This kid's talent, especially his talent in swordsmanship, was even stronger and more terrifying than Qiu Qi, the number one of the younger generation of the Qiu family. If this young man was from the Qiu clan, then he would definitely be the champion of the Yan Yun County Youth Martial Meet. Although the Qiu family was the most powerful family in Yan Yun County, there were two other families, the Hua family and the Xing family. Although the Hua family and the Xing family were not as powerful as the Qiu family in the past few years, the Hua family and the Xing family's strength had been constantly improving, and there was a faint trend of catching up. Especially in recent years, the Hua family and the Xing family each had a super genius. The Hua family's Hua Xiao and the Xing family's Xing Tianshu both had amazing talent. They had reached the Gangqi realm at such a young age. Although Qiu Qi from the Qiu family was also very good, she was still inferior to the two in terms of talent. Although Qiu Qi had also reached the Gangqi realm, she was 1 year older than Hua Xiao and Xing Tianshu, and she was a girl. Of course, no one knew about Qiu Qi. Only the higher-ups of the Qiu family knew about it. Even the other people in the family thought that the most outstanding genius of the Qiu family was Qiu Yuan. In fact, the most outstanding one was Qiu Qi. However, if the young man in front of him could join the Qiu family, then the Qiu family's strength would be raised to another level, and they would be able to crush the Hua and Xing families. However, this young man was most likely not someone who could be easily recruited. Furthermore, this young man had killed Qiu Song. Since they could not recruit him into the Qiu family, then they could only kill him and steal the sword technique in his hands. A powerful sword technique was enough to raise Qiu Qi's strength to another level. With this sword technique, Qiu Qi could definitely crush Hua Xiao and Anxing Tianshu. As one of the higher-ups of the Qiu family, the Qiu family's fifth master's insight was far beyond Qiu Song's. The sword technique that Yang Hongwu displayed was so powerful that it was even stronger than the Qiu family's profound class technique. It was definitely a top-notch profound class technique, and it might even surpass the profound class technique. However, the more powerful the technique, the harder it was to comprehend it. However, he did not think that Qiu Qi could not comprehend it. Even if she could not reach this young man's level, she would not be too far off. Young man, no wonder you could kill Qiu Song. With such a sword technique, you could indeed kill his follower and then kill him. Qiu Lin looked at Yang Hongwu, and an aura enveloped Yang Hongwu. Originally, you could have lived, and you could have joined the Qiu clan and become a member of the Qiu clan. You could have obtained glory, wealth, and a respectable status. Unfortunately, you could have killed anyone, but you had to kill Song Er. Therefore, you must pay with your life for him. However, if you hand over the sword skills you have cultivated and kill yourself here, I can leave your corpse intact and let the entire Grey Cloud Town go. Kid, why aren't you thanking the Fifth Lord for his benevolence? One of the guards shouted. Everyone else echoed. Qiu Lin's eyes seemed to say that he was doing Yang Hongwu a great favor by doing so. Qiu Song told me the same thing. So, he is dead. Yang Hongwu said. The same goes for all of you. Young man, you are only in the true Qi realm. How dare you be so arrogant and condescending? You will pay the price for this. Today is the day you die. Qiu Lin was also angry. A kid in the genuine Qi realm dared to look down on him. Even if he was a genius, even if he had a mysterious sword technique, it would still be the same. Although his sword technique was good and his talent was strong, but the gap between the cultivation levels was something that he absolutely could not make up for. Moreover, he had more than 10 subordinates, all of whom were in the genuine Qi realm. Qiu Lin was only one person, he did not need to do anything. His subordinates were enough to tear him into pieces. Everyone, go and kill this young man. Then, kill everyone in Grey Cloud Town. Qiu Lin was completely enraged. First Elder, let's make our move as well. You should know that the Qiu clan will definitely not let our Grey Cloud Town go. Lin Yong saw that everyone was attacking Yang Hongwu. His face changed. This time, it was different from before. Previously, there was only one half-step Gangqi realm expert. But this time, these guards were all very powerful. Moreover, there was a terrifying expert like Qiu Lin. Even if Yang Hongwu was talented and had extraordinary strength, he might not be able to withstand the attacks of so many people. The Great Elder's face changed several times. Chapter 11:29. 10 Direction Killing Fist. Invincible. The Great Elder was in a dilemma. If he took action, he would offend the Qiu family. The Qiu family was a huge force in Grey Cloud Town. However, if he did not take action, would the Qiu family let Grey Cloud Town go? This was probably going to be very difficult. For a moment, the First Elder was caught in a dilemma. Seeing the Great Elder in such a situation, Lin Yong shouted, "It's the people of Grey Cloud Town. Let's attack together. Didn't you hear what Qiu Lin said? He wants to kill everyone in Grey Cloud Town and destroy our town. Can you tolerate that?" "No." Some of the younger people shouted. "Since we can't, should we wait for them to kill us?" "No." "All right, let's attack together. Even if we die, we will drag them down with us." Lin Yong was indeed Lin Yong. After all, he had experienced hundreds of battles and was a guard of Grey Cloud Town. Naturally, he had prestige. Stirring up emotions was easy for him. Soon, he raised the morale of everyone in Grey Cloud Town. In an instant, everyone in Grey Cloud Town moved. Just ants. When Qiu Lin saw this scene, he did not care at all. No matter how many sheep there were, how could they be compared to a lion? Therefore, in his opinion, all of this was futile. Moreover, what he cared about now was not the people of Grey Cloud Town, but Yang Hongwu. As long as he could obtain Yang Hongwu's powerful sword technique, he could kill him. At that time, the entire Grey Cloud Town would be destroyed. However, he miscalculated. Yang Hongwu's strength was beyond his imagination. Yang Hongwu was like a killing god in the mortal world. With each punch and kick, he beheaded several of Qiu Qiu's subordinates. Each and every one of Qiu Qiu's subordinates was very powerful. These subordinates could be said to be the most elite force of the Qiu family. 10 Direction Killing Fist. Invincible. Facing the siege of more than 10 people, Yang Hongwu released a terrifying killing intent. He gathered his 10 Direction Killing Fist and unleashed it to the extreme. He punched out with both of his fists. The surroundings were filled with killing intent. It was as if a killing god had descended. The fist energy crazily harvested one life after another. Soon, the people who had besieged Yang Hongwu were all killed by him. Yang Hongwu's cultivation increased and his strength became stronger. He kept breaking through during the battle. This kid, he has such a terrifying fist art. Seeing Yang Hongwu 10 Direction Killing Fist, Qiu Lin's face changed again. To be able to possess two such terrifying cultivation techniques, just who was he? He can't be Cloud Town, Grey Cloud Town? How could there be such a powerful cultivator? It was impossible to nurture him. Could it be that there was a powerful force behind him? Was he a monstrous genius nurtured by some great family or great power? That's right. That's probably the only possibility. Otherwise, how could an ordinary force nurture such a monstrous genius? Is he a sect disciple of the sect? Qiu Lin's face darkened. He had heard that the sect of the Ether once gave out a token for the entrance examination in an inconspicuous place. As for Chiu Song, he had come out in order to find that test token. Could it be that this guy was actually a genius from the sect of Ether? Was he the one who issued the test tokens to the people of the Grey Cloud Town? Or was he the one who came to take the Grey Cloud Town to participate in the entrance test? If that was the case, then they would be in big trouble. Although the Chiu family was powerful, it was only in the Yenyun County. The strength of the Chiu family could not be compared with that of the sect of the Ether. The sect of the Ether was a sect, a behemoth. Even the whole empire had to look up to it. Without the sect of the Ether, the Tsonghuan Empire would have been devoured long ago. How could it survive for so long? Sects were the real powerful and superior existence. The sect of the Ether controlled several empires, and the Tsonghuan Empire, where the Yenyun County was located, was just one of the empires controlled by the sect of the Ether. However, Chiu Lin knew that there was no way out now. Since he had already offended Yang Hongwu, he might as well go all the way. So what if this kid was a genius of the sect of Ether? In such a remote place, who would know if he killed him? After killing him, he would kill everyone else and silence them all. No one would know about this secret. More importantly, if he killed him, he would be able to obtain his secret cultivation technique and resources. Chiu Lin coveted those powerful cultivation techniques. His cultivation had reached a threshold. He had been stuck at the 7th level of the astral chi realm for more than 10 years. If he could obtain a powerful cultivation technique, he might be able to break through to the next level. This was an opportunity. Kid, I have to admit that you are very powerful. I am curious, what kind of power could cultivate such an outstanding genius like you? Chiu Lin squinted his eyes and looked at Yang Hongwu. He walked towards him step by step. His powerful aura locked on to him. Chiu Lin was an expert at LV7 of the Gangqi realm. The gap between the late stage of the Gangqi realm and the genuine Qi realm was like heaven and earth. Even if he was compared with an expert who was half a step away from the Gangqi realm, the gap between them was like heaven and earth. There was no comparison at all. The gap between the genuine Qi realm and the genuine Qi realm was huge. Yang Hongwu was a cultivator of the Gangqi realm. How could he not know? Although the experts who were half a step away from the Gangqi realm were easy to kill, compared with Chiu Lin, they were nothing. An expert at the late stage of the Gangqi realm could easily kill dozens of experts at the early stage of the Gangqi realm. Therefore, among the group of people from the Chiu family, the real threat was Chiu Lin, an expert at the late stage of the Gangqi realm. If they could not kill him, they would be in big trouble. Although Yang Hongwu was not afraid of the Chiu family, Grey Cloud Town was too weak. Compared with the Chiu family, it was too weak. They could easily destroy Grey Cloud Town. Of course, if he did not get rid of those death servant puppets, Grey Cloud Town would not be so weak. I am not from a big family, nor am I a genius from a big sect. You can rest assured that as long as you can kill me, you will naturally get what you want. However, I am afraid that your strength is not enough. A mere LV7 of the Gangqi realm is still a little lacking. If you can break through to the Gangqi realm, you may be able to pose a threat to me. However, the current you is far from enough. Yang Hongwu said, although his heart was heavy. Kid, I would like to see if your strength is as good as your mouth. I will let you know that the gap between the genuine Qi realm and the Gangqi realm is like a natural moat, an insurmountable gap. Chiu Lin said as he took out a war saber. Chapter 1130. Godslayer's Sect, Wolf Fang Godslayer. With a roar, Chiu Lin glared at Yang Hongwu and slashed down with his war saber. The terrifying saber chi turned into a ferocious wolf that pounced on Yang Hongwu in an attempt to devour and destroy him. 10-direction killing fist, Godslayer descends. Yang Hongwu used the 10-direction killing fist once again. This was one of the most powerful moves in the 10-direction killing fist. The murderous aura condensed and turned into a terrifying Godslayer. The power of the Godslayer could slay gods and demons, exterminating all existences. The killing fist was invincible and could sweep across the world. The surging fist energy was vast and mighty, like a surging wave, like a torrential flood. Once the killing fist was unleashed, it was unstoppable. Boom! The two forces collided and caused a huge explosion. The powerful impact caused the surrounding houses to collapse. The solid ground was blasted open by the powerful impact, creating a large crater. A nearby stone table was smashed into pieces by the impact of the violent chi. Yang Hongwu's body was strong, but after withstanding such a powerful impact, he spat out a mouthful of blood and suffered a serious injury. As for Qiulin, he was sent flying by the overbearing force. The war saber in his hand had already flown out and landed far away. His chest was hit by Yang Hongwu's majestic fist energy, and several of his ribs were broken. His body hit the wall and blood spurted out from his mouth. His gorgeous clothes were already stained red with blood. "Is that all you've got? You're an expert in the Gangqi realm. If that's all you've got, you've really disappointed me." Yang Hongwu looked at Qiulin, who was lying on the ground. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and walked towards Qiulin step by step. Yang Hongwu had to admit that Qiulin's strength was not bad. Among the martial artists in the Gangqi realm, his strength was considered to be in the front. With his war saber, he could surpass one level and fight with a Gangqi realm level 8 martial artist. For a martial artist, to be able to challenge someone of a higher level was already considered a genius. Even if he used a powerful weapon, it was still the same. After all, a powerful weapon also needed a vast amount of true energy to support it. The higher the grade of the weapon, the more true energy it would consume. Without a strong enough true energy foundation, there was no way to bring out the power of a top-notch weapon. Of course, it was different if it was an emperor weapon. At that level, if one didn't have enough strength and the emperor weapon recognized him as its master, then although he wouldn't be able to unleash its full power, it would still be much more powerful than ordinary weapons. The power it could unleash would also be very terrifying. For example, if a true Qi realm martial artist had an emperor weapon to recognize him as its master, then if he used the emperor weapon to execute a martial skill, the power would increase by at least 10 times. However, emperor weapons were extremely hard to come by. Even in the heavens domain, it was God's. After all, there were not many people who could refine weapons, and even fewer people who could refine emperor weapons. Yang Hongwu used to be a powerful alchemist, talisman master, weapon refiner, and formation master. However, the elixirs Yang Hongwu could refine were not heaven grade. The formation he could set up was also far from heaven grade. It was the same for talismans. Moreover, although he could use the divine talisman skill, he could only refine ordinary talismans. It would consume a lot of spiritual power and spiritual power. Yang Hongwu had not even reached the Purple Mansion realm, let alone the primordial spirit. Therefore, it was very difficult for him to use the divine talisman skill. If he could use the divine talisman skill to refine powerful talismans, he would not have to fight so hard. The Qiu family could be defeated with just a handful of talismans. However, if that was the case, it would bring him a lot of trouble. If he was at his peak, he would not have to worry about it. However, he was not strong enough to defeat the sect of the Ether. Therefore, he had to keep a low profile. The art of talismans, the art of formations, the art of alchemy, these could only be displayed under the right circumstances. At this moment, Qiulin looked at Yang Hongwu, who was walking towards him step by step. He smiled bitterly in his heart. After all, a genius was a genius. Especially this kind of terrifying genius. He was not someone they could fight against. Even if his cultivation level was low, his combat power was still very terrifying. He was only at LV1 True Qi realm, but he could defeat a LV7 Gang Qi realm monster. It was too terrifying. Such a genius was one of the best even in the sect of the Ether. What kind of existence did he provoke? How did Qiu Song, that bastard, provoke such a terrifying genius? However, it was too late for regret. Even if he begged for mercy, Yang Hongwu would not let him go. He felt a terrible murderous aura from Yang Hongwu's fist. How could such a murderous aura be gathered overnight? Even his fourth brother's murderous aura could not compare to such a murderous aura. One should know that his fourth brother, Qiu Sha, had climbed up through mountains of corpses and seas of bones. He cultivated the way of killing and was a general guarding the border. He had experienced countless battles and killed countless enemies. The number of people who died in his hands was at least a few thousand, if not tens of thousands. His murderous aura was gathered on the battlefield. However, this kid's murderous aura was even more terrifying and terrifying. It could even condense into a physical body. How terrifying was his murderous aura! Moreover, he had a feeling that this guy had sealed an even more terrifying murderous aura. The murderous aura he released was only a small part of it. He was so young, but he killed people like they were cutting grass. He had cultivated such a terrifying fist of killing. His background was definitely not simple. Could he be a disciple of the sect of the Slayers? He thought of a sect that had not appeared for thousands of years. It was the legendary sect of the Slayers. He had only heard of this sect of the Slayers. It was said that thousands of years ago, there was a terrifying sect that cultivated the way of killing. There were not many disciples in the sect of the Slayers. However, each and every one of them was a terrifying existence. They cultivated by killing. The disciples who had just entered the sect had to kill hundreds and thousands of people every day. They could only stop when they condensed the heart of killing. At that time, their cultivation was not about killing people, but about killing themselves. However, there were only a few people who could condense the heart of killing. However, once they managed to condense the heart of killing, they would be extremely terrifying. They could definitely stand at the peak of the Tsangshan continent and become the strongest expert. However, all of these were just rumors. As for whether it was true or not, he did not know. It was not something that a mere Gangqi realm martial artist could know. Chapter 1131. Entering the Forbidden Area God-Slaying Sect? No, I have never heard of God-Slaying Sect. Yang Hongwu said coldly. Are these your last words? Then you can die. After saying that, Yang Hongwu stabbed Qiu Lin's heart with his saber. Qiu Lin's pupils dilated as he lost all signs of life. Seeing Qiu Lin dead, the great elder knew that it was over. Previously, the second young master had died, and now the fifth young master had died. This time, Grey Cloud Town had no way to coexist peacefully with the Qiu clan. Even if he offered the death servant puppet, there was no hope. What should we do? I'm afraid that our Grey Cloud Town is finished. He's fine, he can go anywhere he wants, but we have no way to survive. Two important figures of the Qiu family have died here. How could the Qiu family let this go? The great elder murmured. Don't worry, I will not leave. As for the Qiu clan, when I come out of the forbidden area, the first place I will go is the Qiu clan. Yang Hongwu said, his eyes emitting a terrifying cold light. Then you can go to the Qiu clan first, then go to the forbidden area? The great elder said. Are you negotiating with me? Yang Hongwu heard and said coldly. No. The great elder said. The great elder was shocked when he heard this. This guy killed people like scything flax. Qiu Lin was so strong. He was a level 7 astral energy realm warrior, but he was still easily killed. The great elder was so weak, the gap between them was not small. If Qiu Lin wanted to kill him, he could do it with just a finger. This god of death was not to be trifled with. Let's go, bring me to the forbidden area. Yang Hongwu said. I don't have time to talk with you. Yesterday I gave you a day. If you delay, then don't blame me for being impolite. I will kill. When Yang Hongwu said the words, I will kill people, the surrounding temperature dropped instantly. The originally hot weather seemed to have entered a cold winter. I will bring you there. The great elder quickly said. At this moment, the first elder no longer had the imposing manner from before. He no longer had that arrogant look on his face. His bowing and scraping appearance was very disdainful. Some of the Blue Cloud sect guards couldn't help but feel disdain in their hearts when they saw the first elder act like this. Since when had the arrogant, despotic, and lofty first elder become so subservient now? He was like a bug that answered to every command. It was truly shameful. However, this also reflected how powerful Yang Hongwu was. Men should be like this. All the married and unmarried women in Grey Cloud Town looked at Yang Hongwu with sparkling eyes, wishing they could eat Yang Hongwu alive. This was a man, a real man. He was powerful and handsome, a man among men. If she could marry him and become his woman, she would definitely die of happiness. This was the thought of all the women in Grey Cloud Town. Of course, the vast majority of the women were ashamed of their inferiority. Such an outstanding man, such a powerful genius, he was a true dragon. How could he stay in this tiny Grey Cloud Town for a woman? He was the dazzling star in the sky. How could he be interested in a mere mortal woman? Yang Hongwu didn't know what these women were thinking. Even if he knew, he wouldn't care. Under the lead of the first elder and Lin Yong, Yang Hongwu quickly arrived at a mountain behind Grey Cloud Town. This mountain was very hidden. Yang Hongwu was surprised to find that this was a pretty good array formation. This array formation was very mysterious. If he wasn't an array master, he wouldn't have been able to discover it even if he was led here by the first elder and Lin Yong. This array formation was a very strange concealment array formation. This array formation gave Yang Hongwu a familiar feeling. At the core of the array formation, Yang Hongwu felt the aura of the immortal god talisman. That's right, it was the aura of the immortal god talisman. This array formation actually borrowed the power of the immortal god talisman. In other words, some of the ferocious beasts' cores that were contaminated with the aura of the immortal god talisman were refined into the core of the array formation, becoming the source of the array formation's power. If he wanted to break the array formation, he would need to break the core of the array formation, which was the core of the ferocious beast. Of course, to break the array formation, it might be a difficult task for ordinary people. However, for Yang Hongwu, it wasn't a problem at all. He could break the array formation by using pills. The formation breaking pill. Although Yang Hongwu's pill refining skills had not recovered, the formation breaking pill he refined could still break the array formation. In fact, Yang Hongwu could easily break the array formation even without using the formation breaking pill. This was because the source of the array formation's power was the core of the ferocious beasts that were contaminated with the aura of the immortal god talisman. Yang Hongwu cultivated the devouring art and the devouring real body. He could easily devour the energy of the immortal god talisman. Once the energy was devoured, the entire array formation would lose its source of power. Without the source of power, the array formation would break by itself. This is the forbidden area. This is the array formation. Follow me. Otherwise, it will be very troublesome if we go the wrong way. The great elder's face was solemn. If it was before, he couldn't wait for Yang Hongwu to die inside. However, he didn't want Yang Hongwu to die now. Once he died inside, the Chiu family would come and Grey Cloud Town would be finished. As the great elder of Grey Cloud Town, he had a high status in the town. If Grey Cloud Town was gone, what rights would he have as the great elder? He would have nothing. Even his life would be gone. This was not what he wanted. Don't worry. A mere array formation can't trap me. If you're afraid, you can go out first. Once you're here, I can go in myself. Yang Hongwu said. What do you know? If it was before, I couldn't wait for you to die inside. However, I can't do that now. Your life is related to the safety of the entire Grey Cloud Town. If you want to die, you have to solve the crisis of our town first. The great elder glared and said. Of course, Yang Hongwu knew what the great elder was thinking. This old thing was afraid that he would kill him just now. Now, he actually dared to talk to him like this. This old man was a weirdo. Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you if you talk to me like this? Yang Hongwu said indifferently. You. Hearing this, the first elder's face instantly turned pale. His tone became hesitant as he said, I didn't mean that. I'm just worried about your safety. This is our Grey Cloud Town, a forbidden area of our Du family. There are many dangers inside. This is just the outer area of the town, and it's extremely terrifying. Many experts have died because they tried to force their way into our Du family's forbidden area. Chapter 1132. The first clue, this too powerful. He is also proficient in the Tao of formation? Lin Yong murmured. Let's follow him. Lin Yong quickly said, as he looked at Yang Hongwu who was leaving. At this moment, the great elder also regained his senses. This kid is too monstrous. His speed is actually so fast. He did not know about the Forbidden Lands formation. Could it be that Du Yun told him about it? Impossible. Even if Du Yun told him about it, he would not be so familiar with it. Although Du Yun had entered the Forbidden Land, he was only at the periphery. Anyway, they did not know what was going on, so they could only guess. Maybe Yang Hongwu had an amazing talent in formation. The two of them followed closely behind, increasing their speed. However, what made them speechless was that Yang Hongwu's speed was getting faster and faster, to the point that they could not catch up with him. This speed was too shocking. What should we do? We can't catch up with him. Lin Yong said, Great Elder, can't you be faster? It's not that I don't want to be faster, but I have no choice. You know about this formation. If we are not careful, we will be doomed eternally. Even I am the same, there is no way to be faster. The great elder said with a bitter smile. But, if this continues, we won't even see his shadow. Lin Yong said. There's nothing we can do about it. How about this? I think we should just retreat and wait for him outside. The great elder said. Originally, he wanted to tell Yang Hongwu some things to take note of in the Forbidden Land, but now it was impossible. No. Lin Yong shook his head and said, I must go in. This is an opportunity for me and also a test. If I give up because of this, it will be difficult for me to improve my martial arts in the future. Up to you, but I will not accompany you to take the risk. If you want to go in, you can only go in alone. Don't drag me in. The great elder said. Lin Yong was very disdainful of the great elder's greedy attitude. Okay, I will go in alone, Lin Yong said. After saying that, Lin Yong and the great elder separated. Yang Hongwu had already passed through the array at this time. He originally wanted to break the array, but after hesitating for a moment, he gave up. After all, the existence of this formation was a good thing. After entering the forbidden area, Yang Hongwu felt a special aura. This was the aura of the immortal god talisman. The aura here was getting denser and denser. However, Yang Hongwu was certain that although this was the aura of the immortal god talisman, it wasn't its true body. How powerful was the immortal god talisman? If there really was an immortal god talisman here, then how could this forbidden area be so simple? How could an array formation be so easily destroyed by him? Yang Hongwu guessed that this formation should have been set up by the ancestors of the Du family. Yang Hongwu was getting more and more curious about the ancestor of the Du family. This ancestor of the Du family didn't seem to be that simple. Roar. After walking for about a quarter of an hour, Yang Hongwu heard a roar. This roar was like an undying beast from hell. Yang Hongwu looked up and saw a terrifying wolf in front of him. This wolf was very strange. It was not like the two-headed wolf he had encountered before. This wolf was actually a skeleton. There was no flesh on its body, and there was a layer of black smoke surrounding its body. There was a black gem on top of the wolf's head. This black gem was surrounded by strands of immortal chi. Yang Hongwu knew that this was the power of the immortal god talisman. This wolf's strength was very terrifying. Its combat strength was estimated to be equivalent to a level 3 astral energy realm martial artist. If it really fought with a level 3 astral energy realm martial artist, then the winner would definitely be this wolf. The skeletal wolf's hollow eyes flashed with a black light. Its body turned into a black shadow. Its speed was astonishing. It was as if a black lightning was shooting towards Yang Hongwu at a very fast speed. Jingshan finger. Yang Hongwu's spirit was blessed. His genuine qi condensed on his right hand and he flicked his finger. A golden ray of light erupted from his fingertip. This golden ray of light instantly bombarded the glabella of the ferocious skeleton wolf, and instantly shattered the black gem. The skeleton wolf let out a blood-curdling screech as it turned into a pile of broken bones that scattered all around. A trace of the immortal god talisman's power spread out from the broken bones. Yang Hongwu's mind moved, and the devouring real body was activated. This trace of the immortal god talisman's power was instantly devoured by Yang Hongwu. After devouring this trace of the immortal god talisman's power, Yang Hongwu found that his cultivation base had improved a little. His spiritual power had also improved. It seemed that the world in his body had also loosened a little. Inner world. Yang Hongwu perceived his inner world. Although it was only a trace, it was enough. His inner world had undergone a huge change in that battle. Yang Hongwu didn't know what had happened. Originally, Yang Hongwu thought that his inner world was finished. He didn't expect that he could actually communicate with his inner world at this time. Although he only perceived a trace of its power, he didn't know how long it would take for him to truly open his inner world again. The key was the power of the immortal god talisman. It seemed that the power of the immortal god talisman was the key to opening his inner world. It wasn't easy to obtain the immortal god talisman, but at least there was hope. One day, he would be able to obtain the immortal god talisman and open his inner world again. Yang Hongwu had a premonition that if he could open his inner world again, then what awaited him would be a huge surprise, an incomparable surprise. Yang Hongwu continued to move forward. Along the way, Yang Hongwu killed a lot of fierce beasts. These fierce beasts, without exception, had one thing in common. They didn't have flesh and blood, only skeletons. Moreover, there was the aura of the immortal god talisman in their inner black. The stronger the fierce beast, the stronger the power of the immortal god talisman it contained. Of course, it was more difficult to deal with them. If they were just puppets, Yang Hongwu could directly use the power of the devouring real body to devour the cores of these puppets. However, Yang Hongwu found that he couldn't directly devour the power of the immortal god talisman in the cores of these fierce beasts. He had to kill them to devour them. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.